that Julius.
I went to a Mexican restaurant.
I didn't want to go too loud. What peace, everybody. Oh, let me check on my meal. Let me check on it. I'm gonna eat the whole thing. We need to cook a little more. With a little sauce on there. Them veggies right too. And them veggies perfect. Oh my bad. Peace, y'all. Give me a second. Give me a second. Got some serious work going on over here. Let's see something. Trying to see if my mic gonna work. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I don't know if you can hear me on that. Let me plug it up and see what happens. I'm gonna see if anybody can hear me when I plug this doohickey up. I guess I was supposed to have better sound on here, I guess. So we're gonna find it out. Gonna do it like that. So we're gonna give everybody a minute to jump on this. Jump on here. Oh, so we're getting stuck. Okay, yeah. We on good time. We on good time on this Friday. On this Friday. On this holy day. Yeah, we about to get started. Give me a minute. Yeah, give me a second. Yep. We about to get started. Absolutely. You good? Yeah, actually, it's raining hard today. Yep. Crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a pen name. Yeah, it's a pen name. Pen name. Pen name. Pen name. Peace. Peace, everybody. Sorry, it took me a little longer. I got a couple things going on at the same time, multitasking, preparing dinner. Peace, everybody. My back. Peace, my brother Memphis Dollar. My brother. What he say? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Hey, Memphis, I was in Vegas the other week celebrating one of my Mufti's birthdays, right? And then I was playing your song everywhere. You know, everywhere. I'm everywhere. I don't think they remember that, Memphis. You know, you dropped some classics, but I'm just in my hippocampus, man, going so far back, you know, in my mental. My brother, I love you. You know that. Peace, number white side. Peace, brother. Peace and love. But it's so much to talk about today. But you know me, I always have my specific topics that I want to talk about. I always drop little nuggets, and I try to tell everyone if the shoe fit, wear it. Don't be mad, men and women. Don't be mad when we make statements, when we looking at things from our pictorial. You know, these are things for we can ask ourselves and have enough pride to say, hey, something is right or something is not right. So, with that being said, I want to just stay in my zone a little bit because now I'm preparing this good meal, these veggies, man. Good halal meal today is going to be good. My Jewish community, kosher, good meal, veggies, a little chicken, a little baked chicken, you know. But how do I want to say this? Let's start off. First, I love all religions. I love all my brothers and sisters. But what I tell people, I don't care how much you love a religious deity. That shouldn't, or it shouldn't make you turn your back on your culture or your blackness per se. That should make you want to dive into who you are even more. I'm telling you, man, like just like the things that I see as an adult, because we are blessed to be here as adults. I'm getting ready to be 48 in January. And if y'all can hear me on YouTube, let me know because I got this mic on. So let me know. But it's an honor to be able to be in this flesh at this age, all the things we went through. Some of us lost brothers, some of us, you know, other situations lost parents, all these things. But we got to know it's an honor to be where we at this specific stage in life. And so that's why I always give a little bit of honor to the creator. Not all that you got to be walking around trying to make people or tell people they doing it wrong because nobody doing nothing wrong. The only thing that we do wrong is when we doubt who we are, when we don't love ourselves so much, when we put other deities and other individuals and other people's science above us, when we put other leaders and so-called teachers above our own people. Like we can't talk about what's going on and we from a certain area. And we know we're not judging no one, but when people say they'll get this and get that, they don't do nothing. Now I can know my brother on here, I can say from personal witness, my brother Memphis. Hey, he'll give you his shirt on his back. See, these are things that we know. So now, as adults, as we get into a certain age in life, as we turn, as we done live almost a nickel in this earth plane, y'all. Now is the time for us to be like, wait a minute, we got to come back to something. And who's going to be the one that's going to say, hey man, this is the person that's going to speak for me. This is it. This is that. I'm telling you, man, we have to get back familiar with what's going on, who we are as a people. I'm telling us, And I understand what everyone's saying because we all are spiritual, no matter what you believe in, Jesus, Muhammad, this, that, and the other. What I'll be telling people is we should get to an age and to a certain point where we can sit down and say, well, what is really what is it that we really should be rocking with? Our nationality and our spirituality. Because if you understand, and if people will sit down and have a conversation to get to know who we are and the power that we have united, then I think it'll get a little bit more serious. I promise these are conversations they don't want us to have. They want us to go against each other. They want the old against the young, the male against the female, the light against the dark. They want this. They want the older generation to be totally disconnected to the young generation. They want that. I tell people it's a blueprint. If brothers is willing to sit down and listen to the blueprint, you'll be like, damn, because we all should have a common denominator. I'm telling you, it's a certain language how things can be done. When I talk about the Burn the Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, which I'm a sheik, the teacher, and a map and a guide, a sensei, Sufi, whatever you want to call it, what we are is an institution for us to bring things back in our community, because no one is going to do it for us. And we have to, and we can't be looking at the athletes and none of that. We have to take the ones that say, you know what, these are the people from our neighborhood that have the background to do this. Let's do it. We can, because when we drugs, crime, and gang prevention, see a lot of our brothers and sisters don't know when I talk about all that's what public safety. All that's what that's connected to what police. A lot of funding go to a certain way. It's the language. I'm telling you what I know. And brothers and sisters really have to understand what's going on in the world. Nothing stops. We just are not players in this game. When I tell brothers, I say, okay, well, organization. When I say brothers, we have to sit down and talk about the different 501s, C's. Brothers don't even sit down and have these conversations. They let people that get on the internet and talk a whole bunch of other crap while other individuals and other nationalities winning. How? Using the laws, using their funds to do exactly what I'm saying. We don't have these conversations. We just go to church, give our money to the church, and don't understand and ask the pastors, is the church taxes in for the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, educational, charitable wise? Yes. Well, why I'm not? You never asked that? You never asked if you a member of the church and you giving your donations, your dues and your tithes and offerings, and you don't get a tax-exempt receipt at the end of the year? You never thought about that? All that tax-exempt money. So when I speak about things and I show my brothers and sisters all these abandoned churches in our city of Flint, Memphis, and I say we can buy one, 250 grand. How? With the money we giving Uncle Sam. How? I just said, if we under our religious and charitable contribution of our choice, we are tax exempt for the federal government. What that means, we can donate the money that we give Uncle Sam to our religious and charitable contribution of your choice. And all you got to do is get a tax exempt receipt. That you don't get. It's no such thing as tax evasion, because you are paying your taxes. It just have to match what you say, what the organization says. And when you do that, we build infrastructure. You have your religious community. But all these pastors just had these big old mansions. I'm telling you, any preacher get on here, they know I'm telling the truth. But the people don't know, and we should know. That's how we can buy our communities. Just like right now, they building all those houses down. Those you thought apartments downtown in the city of Flint by the taco house. Ain't nobody gonna be able to afford that. Not nobody on the salary that they own. See, this is what I know. This is what I know, because I deal with dollars. I deal with infrastructure. I deal with law, civics, politics. I deal with all. I deal with agendas. I don't get happy or excited because of this or that. I say, let's deal with the common denominator. No president is elected. They all selected. These is facts. If you don't know what the electoral college is about, if you don't understand agendas, if we have no idea what it's really about, then we really should sit back and let the ones that know and that's from us speak for us on all levels. When it comes to history, when it comes to civics, when it comes to spirituality, we have to talk about it. And there's nothing to hide. No religion is going to get you nowhere. We don't have religion forever. The Christian argue with the Muslim argue with the Christian, the Hebrew Israelite argue with whoever the hell they feel like arguing with. And Hebrew don't change. Hebrew is just an act that happened. When you're dealing with linguistics, it don't change who your father is and your bloodline. And see, we have to have understanding today. Our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we don't love ourselves. You know, yeah, people kill people all day. You know, this is what I tell people. My homeboy killed his own brother. Negro killed my brother. Like, we be saying stuff that's common, you know, it shouldn't be, but it is. And then we try to put it on a pictorial on the people. I say we got to digress. Even when we talk about masonry and when we talk about the science, most people that's on the internet that's with these goofy TikTok videos ain't never been in a Masonic house. This is what I know. And I'm telling you, most Black Masons, with all due respect, is no secret, but it's a secret. You know, so if you go in a Masonic house, if you don't want to know nothing, you could just be part of you, ruhu. But if you connect to the other brothers that's maybe learning a little bit who they are, then you connect to that. See, this is what I know because I'm 99 degrees, not no 32. This is what I tell my brothers and sisters. We have to anoint our brothers and sisters that's been through the fire. We don't have to gravitate to things that we have no understanding of. We can have a clear understanding. That's why the scripture says a prophet and an angel is no good in his own or her own country. When you open my book is just as anyone else's. You know? And so when we talk about, oh, damn. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I had to turn my food down. So when we talk about these things historically, family, I want us to have some pride. I don't want us and our children to be on their knees, like talk about when they die, they're gonna go to heaven. That don't even go with the scriptures. What do the Lord's Prayer say? I ask everyone to clearly say the Lord's Prayer out of your mouth. You'll be like, damn, that make a lot of sense. Because the Lord's Prayer says you want the same thing on earth as it is in heaven. So why do you have to die for glory? Who told you a part of you is evil? Because the Bible says you are made in the image of God's. Read it for yourself. See, we be listening to people that have no biblical historicalness and won't tell the truth. And then they'll say color don't matter. Why color don't matter? If color didn't matter, you would tell the truth of the biblical scriptures. I'm here not to make you think something or make you feel a certain way. I'm here to tell you most of our brothers and sisters, that's preachers and teachers, have no idea. And most of them have took an oath not to tell you the truth. See, I'm going to show y'all some things in first century. When I say this is synchronicity, when I say I'm a Moor, I'm not no Islam, I'm not none of that. I'm a Sufi, I'm a Tasawwuf. I don't believe in nothing outside of myself. Do I understand? Yes, I'm under the triple rose. I understand the Paraclete, the Fatimid, and the Jerusalem or the Christian. I have a clear understanding, but I don't believe in nothing outside of myself. Anything outside of myself is true shirk. I hear what people be saying, and I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm not here to try to convert no one because there's nothing to convert to. I'm here to resurrect my brothers and sisters. And if anybody don't like it, that's okay. You take it up with the Creator. You can't take it up with me. I ain't say righteousness wasn't for everyone, but I'm here to liberate every one of my brothers and sisters that think they some Negro color or African American or some 3/5 of a person. This is what I'm telling you. And I'm down with reparations too, but Negroes would never get no reparations, identifying to some that's synonymous to slaves. These is facts. So when I talk about first century history, this is the history that our brothers and sisters need. This is the stuff that should be go viral for our kids can see historically in pictures that's in people royal archives. Not a whole bunch of gibberish. We can have a balance though. This is what I'm telling people. We should have a balance, brothers and sisters, because this is when we talk about being prideful. And when somebody ministering to us, open the scriptures, open historicalness, that can make you feel good. It should. You see? Watch, I'm going to give you some eyewitnesses in the first century. Watch this. Of what they say. Watch this. Irish priest. I ain't say African, I say Irish. James Anderson, 1911. Riddles of prehistoric times. Remember what I said, prehistoric times. Listen what I quote. Now, when I say black, I'm just using it as describing the hue. But remember, in biblical history and context, swarty and brunette mean copper color, y'all. I'm telling you, you got to start understanding linguistics and have pride. Because if color didn't matter, well, what? Well, I'm telling you it did. We're not saying it from a place of nobody else matter. I'm telling you, you matter. And you didn't have no curse of Ham or no curse of Canaan. That's all hogwash. And when our ministers come with that hogwash, we should just leave. That's why I'm telling my brothers, I'm right here. We stand up to all the madness, no matter what religious cloth you hold up. I don't care what religious cloth you hold up. And if you come with the other stuff, I'm gonna show you that I know you don't know your language, because I jump all in a hadith, and then I start jumping in interpreting the language that most brothers don't even read and study. With all due respect, because most of that Quranic stuff is old Jewish text. You can line up online, and can't nobody be mad. Just like the biblical text, I can line it online with all other texts, Epic of Gilgamesh, the Anu Elis, all type of ancient texts. It ain't no disrespect. So when people be saying they have this, the Bible talk about damn near 20-something books. The Bible say, one of the quotes, it says, didn't you read this in the book of Yasher with a question mark? What's the book of Yasher? I don't know. How can the Bible talk about Enoch? And then somebody say Enoch is not important. But the Bible talk about it, don't it? Yeah. Oh, come on, man. Like, we ain't that stupid. I hope we not, brothers and sisters. We getting rocked to sleep. And people be getting mad. We don't got to point the finger at no other man. What about who? Because most people's not getting taught by the other man. So we ain't even got to be even in that arena. We ain't even having to discuss that. I'm talking about what's being promulgated amongst our circles, and the hogwash and the pseudo and the Eurocentric and the Negrocentric propaganda from the pulpit, from the education house, from the brothers that say they know something. And if it's no secret, then tell a secret. Because I'm here to tell you what it is. The secret is you. Everything they talk about ain't nothing but Osiris mysteries, flat out. And if anyone want to come with it, I'll start breaking down everything that's on the tables to show you that it's all about you. And I'll bring some of my European Masons, that Scottish Rite Masons, that tell you it's all about you. Because they'll tell you that you a son of a Muslim. But your brother, that's a Prince Hall Mason, will tell you that he or she is some widow's son. Tell me I'm lying. There ain't no disrespect. So let's proceed. This little black Welshman, Scott, Celt, settled in France, Gonitz of Canary Island, France, Ireland, Spain, and the British Islands, and all over Europe. But then when brothers be talking about, listen, man, you can't deny what the first hand writer said. I'm sorry. Watch this. Professor Winchell Alexander, Our Remote Ancestry, 1815, 1900, collections of journals. These short black men came from Atlantis, Northern Africa, and they overran Europe. They were known as Britons. What? Now, in a book by David MacRitchie, he wrote a book called The Ancient and Modern Britons. See what David MacRitchie talking about in the Ancient and Modern Britons. See, this is the stuff that they won't teach your kids to keep you subjugated. But this is the stuff that I was able to be introduced to in academia, where I can stand on it. And I created my own brotherhood, have my own charter. My wisdom is not pinned down. Don't wait to get in trouble and then want to give your life to something that we should have been doing. The Iberians are the black people with curly hair. So when you be hearing people talk about some Anunnaki with all that fake alien stuff, the Anunnaki is the Iberians. I'm trying to tell you, I be waiting for these goof people to be coming with, because I know where they coming from. I know they either coming from some Zachariah Stitching, some no disrespect, some European pseudo, or they coming from the other brother. And I don't want to say his last name, but it'll start D-Y. I don't want to disrespect our brother's wisdom, but it's just what it is. I ain't dealing with no alien, no fake stuff. I ain't dealing with no stupid, crazy, goofy, big head scientist stuff. I'm not rocking with none of that clown stuff. Joseph Ritson, Annals of Caledonian Pits and Scots, Volume 2, page 7 and 27. The Pits, Britons, are brown complexion with curly hair. As I start showing y'all other history, when they say black as the gypsies, meaning those Egyptians, they were dark skinned, melanated, and they were just describing the color of those type of Moors. See, these is facts. And then, like, they tried to discredit Ivan van Sertima. They tried to discredit Sheikh Anta Diop, some of our best scholars that ever was to walk these plains of the earth, but they couldn't. Because in Ivan van Sertima, African presence in early Europe on page 225, the Britons look like the Ethiopians. So if the Britons look like the Ethiopians, what am I telling you? Brothers and sisters, we all look alike. And then you get Albert Churchward. Albert Churchward wrote a book, Signs, Symbols of the Primordial Man. When I talk about Gerald Massey, when I talk about all these Europeans that wrote the truth in those time periods, we're not going to discredit those writers that told you what was on this earth plane, what they saw, even Lewis and Clark. See, this is the stuff that need to be taught. Albert Churchward in 1912, Origins and Evolutions, page 12 and 13, the Black Besky were exterminated from Europe. Professor Doyle Watkins, our earliest ancestors, he said, the bygone days, a lecture delivered in the public hall, Collyhurst, Manchester, on January the 8th, 1879. The ancient Britons, Irish, Scots, Irish short, black people, page 103 to 107. Dr. Thurman, I put it on cool, babe. But Dr. Thurman, Nature Journal of Science, page 92. Listen what he says. From the evidence at hand, it seems that the Iberian, aka black men, aka black men, aka black men, occupied the whole of Western Europe at one time. At one time. Professor Huxley, 1870, the Iberian race, page 332. The Iberian, the Basque, the black bones have been found all over where? Europe, with his animals. Europe, my brothers and sisters. So let's deal with the science. I inserted writings of 8 English white historians to show that our white brothers who were closer to the epic center didn't have a problem telling the truth about the original inhabitants of Europe. These Welshmen, Britain, Irishmen, Frenchmen, Russian, Germans, Italians, Swedes were in Europe thousands of years before the English arrived in 449 AD. And this will be proven by the writings of Professor Boyd Watkins, professor of geology of Manchester University. You see how the European, the Albion, the Trinidad, whatever you want to say, didn't have no problem with telling the truth. But why our own people that look like us have a problem with telling the truth? To give you pride. Professor Doyle Watkins was invited to speak in the public hall in Manchester, London, January 18th, 1879. And in this lecture, he gives a detailed account of the people who originally inhabited Europe. And without blushing, this is what he said. And I quote eloquently with a silver tongue. This is what he said. Professor Boyd Watkins, professor of geology, Manchester University, London, our remote ancestry, page 95 to 106. The original people of Britain, France, Spain, and England were short black men of about 5 feet, 6 inches in height. They were in England when our fathers, the white English, invaded the land in 449 AD. Our fathers were a warlike people who by 607 AD had pushed the Basque west into Wales, Cumberland, Westmoreland, the Highlands of Scotland, and Devon. The black people boasted that they were citizens of the Roman Empire. The Welsh or the ancient Britons were in possession before the Romans ever came here. These black Basque Britain have brought the knowledge of the iron and the bronze with them. The iron of the bronze technology will be proven perfectly when I show you the German tapestry. These people were herdsmen. They possessed the short horn ox, the horned sheep, the goat, the pig, and the horse. And evidence of their civilization can be seen all over the continent of Europe, as well as throughout the British Islands, extending as far as Germany, Switzerland, and even in France and Spain. Yeah. Look at this great history. So I don't want our kids to be talking about we were some slaves, we all came on some boats. I'm gonna destroy that too. That's how I'm gonna clean it all up with all that back to Africa, transatlantic bullcrap slave trade stuff. And if the other religious people say, well, that's why you should be a religious Islam Muslim. No, it ain't, because then I'm gonna show you what the Islamic slave trade did and how they enslaved all the melanated people when they always want to talk. So we don't have to do that. They originated from Iberian Peninsula, and they are a fragment of the old Spanish population. Remember the Spanish population, the Moors that ruled Spain for all those years? Who were they? I'm trying to tell you, this is history. When I've been trying to tell my brothers and sisters, you should have some pride and some understanding. Don't give everyone your history. Don't say, oh, this is all fake, and then just be on some old radical, I'm back to African booty scratcher stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that historically. Because when you do that, then you're not connecting yourself to the mothers and sisters and the fathers of the nation. That means you have no home when you do that. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, and everybody with some common sense, even the other man, know exactly what I'm saying. Your nationality and your spirituality means something. The religious laws protect us. And when we operate like that as a unit, under the sound of the right understanding and under the right organization, we can take our community where it needs to be. I'm telling you, we can. And don't nobody have to lead a community. Everybody loves Sopranos. I said the Sopranos is under a religious organization. And people don't even know this stuff because they just be looking at the gangster aspect. Watch me drop some jewels down. Lawyer and client confidentiality. Black preachers don't have that. You can't go testify or say nothing to a black preacher because Negro, black, color, African Americans have no standing in law. It's civiliter mortis, because most stuff when it's dealing with that type of law is dead in the eyes of the law pertaining to your ethnicity. So when you're going with that stuff, you dead in the eyes of the law. So you will get subpoenaed when you identify as Negro, black, and color, and African American. These is facts. But I'm just making a point in this aspect of history of showing who you are. But today we must correct it. And this is what I be trying to tell brothers, like, listen, you got to understand how far you came. And then you got to deal with law to deal with it the right way, not overthrowing the law, but show who you are in law and in religious history, because your nationality and your spirituality go hand in hand. This is what I be trying to tell brothers. It's like, come on. Remember Benjamin Franklin, Professor Boyd Dawkins, and Albert Churchward gave us eyewitness accounts of the world order in their generation. Dr. Albert Churchward's eyewitness account gives us a grim description of what happened to the black presence in Europe. The good doctor stated that blacks became extinct. That means exterminated. Exterminated means they was killed by the time he gave his lecture in 1912 to the Royal Society in London. It is of extreme importance that we begin this discussion with the eyewitness accounts of the English historians concerning the old world order, because the new world order is overthrowing of who was in. I hope we catching this. It's become obvious to any researcher that the ancient medieval and the earlier 20th century historians were describing the old world order in their respective generations. And these historians described a world in which the blacks were in power all over the earth. And from the vantage point, we shall spring forward into the future to see the secrets of the past. I'm gonna show y'all a couple pictures. You got the Scottish King of England, the Black King James. You know, when people are like, what you mean? Yes, it's pictures. Look, they be having these pictures, y'all, in their libraries and in their royal archives. And in Europe and in England. I'm telling you. You can ask all English historians and professors before you get into the bowels of this science. You can see it. King James came from a long line of black Scottish Stuarts, 343 years of rulership in Scotland. Research it. The Stuarts not only ruled the Scotland, they ruled France, Spain, Ireland, England, Britain, Wales. King James was able to rule all of these lands because of all these people were of Iberian blacks, not the one that the people be saying King James was this. No, not this one. So you got to understand how people try to whitewash history. descent. They were the same people. And if you look at the ball in his hand, it represents world rulership. And there was only one other group of world leaders who used this type of symbolism, and they were the Byzantine Roman emperors. You got to remember, they told the English that they were Roman citizens. See, it's proof when you be looking at everything in these people's hand, when you be looking at pictures and things, and when I be quoting things, you be like, well, that symbolized this, and this symbolized that. Yes, because it's signs and symbols of the primordial man. That's why. And can't nobody deny it. You know, I just want to show things. They got here go King Charles I of the Scots of England. The image is located in the book of Leviathan. The author is Thomas Hobbes, 1651. King Charles I had the unlucky distinction of having his head cut off by the English, aka the white subjects in his realm. King Charles I wasn't the only one to suffer this indignation. When the English overran the country, they hung and decapitated the men, raped the women, burned the citizens at the stake, and dashed the children against the stones. I'm telling you, it's all in history and recorded. They can't get mad. This is a bit of history that is not taught nor reported in the annals of world history. This is facts. Look, I'm gonna show y'all. I can show y'all pictures of everything. They know. They know. That's why it's important for us to teach this history. People get paid big dollars not to cover this up. It's certain people that know. That's why I said, your brother right here, 99 degrees, I ain't took no oath. Am I initiated? Yes. Just like anything that you want to be a part of, it's a form of initiation. You got to understand that. Here go to Scott King Alexander II, 1198 AD. All these, look at these melanations. And then when you start seeing the stuff in color, you'll really get an eyewitness and a clear fact. King Charles I, his nickname was Black Boy. He reminded me of George Jefferson, how he looked. And remember, then I'll show you in Russia how they always try to look like you and dress like you with the Whigham party because their hair didn't lock like that. He was the king of England, Wales, France, Scotland, Hibernia, Spain, Ireland. It's important that we begin this dialogue about the history that is currently being taught in the so-called schools of higher education. This dialogue or this discussion cannot simply end at the governmental level. We must also include the churches in this dialogue. And that's why I say the churches. Why? Because that's where most of our people at. And it ain't no disrespect. Our preachers is up there just talking out the side of their neck and nobody say nothing. And then we give them the money. And then you go in the community, it's nothing in the communities. There's no after school, nothing. Nobody owning the houses in the neighborhood. It's simple. I'm telling y'all, I got a blueprint. We have our religious community. A lot of stuff can be given to us. I'm telling you. And we tax exempt for the federal government. People don't get it, man. People don't get it. I'm telling you. And when we do that, we donate to our religious and charitable contribution of our choice. And we have brothers and sisters that's on the board. And then I show us how to do this. And we build our community. We own our community. And certain neighborhood streets be what? Religious communities. It's easy. It's easy to do. How? Because don't nobody want our neighborhood. It should be us. I have a blueprint. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling you. Image of King James of the Scots, New College Library in Edinburgh in the UK. Look at the brother. Some people ain't never even seen this picture, but they have them. It's in their libraries. It's all in their libraries. I promise you this. I can show so much more, but I want to move to I want to proceed. But it's so much, y'all, that I can illuminate. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go back. Let me hold on. Let me go somewhere. Let me go right here. Eyewitness period revisited. We covered a lot of material in the first 3 chapters. So before we go any further, I want to remind you of what the ancient historians and eyewitnesses said about the Black Europeans. James Anderson, author of the book Riddles of the Prehistoric Times. This little black Welsh Briton settled in Scotland, France, Spain, British Isles, and all over Europe. Professor Winchell Alexander, author of Our Remote Ancestry, 1818 and 1900. Collection of journals. Romans historian, Tacticus. You ever hear the European Albion Trelodike? No disrespect. Talk about Tacticus, the origins of the Black Britons. Research what I'm telling you. And then research David McRitchie. And he wrote a book called The Ancient and Modern Britons. And then get another book by The Arab by Bertram Thomas. The Arab, the ancient Arab, A-R-A-P, and it ain't A-R-A-B. And then get Vladimir Dale's dictionary of who the ancient Arab is. And then you can stop kissing other people, you know what, because they know that you and I are the ancient Arab, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. These is facts, man. No matter how nobody feels, this should be liberating. Peace, noble my soul. This is what I'll be telling our brothers and sisters. We are getting woe to sleep, and the times is changing. We waking up, and the people is like, they ain't gonna say nothing. They ministers, they teachers not gonna say nothing. And we steady gather where all these people at and listen to this hogwash to say your skin is some curse. That don't even make sense. Anthological Review Society, Volume 8, London. The Iberians are the black people. The Iberians are who? You. So if you was here, that's clearly telling you was here in Americas. They telling you where you was in Germany, in Europe. So how are you just from some place called Africa? Can't happen. You see? Watch this. Benjamin Franklin, essay, 1751. The subject: why increase the sons of Africa in America? All Africans is black, or Tony is black. Tony. Just like when I say brunette. Tony. Just like when I say swarty. Y'all got to understand this, man. Listen, and if anybody want to come on here and try to act like we don't know the truth, I'll get the Anglo-Saxon dictionary and show you what white mean. No disrespect, from love, because they always try to say the black is evil. No, they twist it because most people are not educated. Most people are not scholars. You get their dictionary, you get their Anglo-Saxon dictionary, and they tell you how white spelled, and in this context, what it means. No disrespect to no one. You see, that's what we have to do as educators and scholars, to be like, wait a minute, because it's right in your face. It's like I went to academia, and all my professors, that European, Albion, Trelodike, whatever, they'll tell you they Anglo-Saxon. They'll tell you Romans 3:9 and 2:9. They'll say, well, you don't know what that means in this context. You like the other man can act like that if they want to, but scholars with the right heart, they're gonna tell the truth. You know, so no one can be mad at what I'm saying. No one can be mad at what I'm saying. No one. All Africa is black or tawny. Asia, chiefly tawny, black. And in Europe, the Spaniards, French, Italians, Russians, Swedes, and the Germans are of what we call a swarty or tawny or black complexion. That's why in the religious aspect, you get the book by Vladimir Ivanhoff called Russian Icons. The book costs a grip. And it show you what the ancient first century religious historians of the Bible look like. I'm telling y'all. And then when I take you in all other areas, when I show you all in the buildings, St. Thomas, all that Morris legacy, all the melanation, you'll be like, well, damn, wait a minute, this go with that. Absolutely. It's just a whitewashing of history. And this is what I'm telling you. We need to have this, and it need to be taught where? In our church houses. Can't no preacher, no disrespect, because I ain't gonna disrespect no one, but no one can get up here and deny what I'm saying, especially when we come with the biblical truth. We can show that you're not telling the truth. From the what? The Bible you got in your hand. I can stay with it. I can show you that the misnomer black man is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible alone, without no biasness, without no hatred, guaranteed, without a shadow of doubt. Why? Because I did it. That's how I got my dual master's degree at Grand Canyon University. That's how. And I'm going to stand on it. Benjamin Franklin's letter gives the greatest insight into the ethnic background of the European nations in the 18th century. With the two keys are the artifacts and the pen. When I say if the archaeology don't match the pen, then you get rid of one, the pen. But see, here they both match. We were able to unlock a door that held the truth concerning three kingdoms of a people: the British, the Irish, and the Scots, who lost their lives, property, and place in history. See, and every historian knows this. I can go on and on with that, but I want to proceed. The swarthy Germans, Benjamin Franklin, the title. Listen to this: America as a Land of Opportunity. Benjamin Franklin, 1751. The subject: Why increase the sons of Africa in America? This is what he said: They will never adopt our customs, and any more than they can adopt our complexion, white skin. Now, where do you think he got that at? Get in the 1599 Geneva Bible, and when it says, can a leopard change his spots, just like a blackamoor can't change his skin complexion? Find that in the 1599 Geneva Bible about a blackamoor and a leopard. I bet you find it. I bet you find it. All you got to do is you got your smartphone, fact check me and see, do I know what I'm talking about? You'll be like, well, damn, why do it say blackamoor in the 1599 Geneva Bible? Fact check me. Fact check me. It should open another chamber in your hippocampus. Like, they just said blackamoor in here. We're in the 1599 Geneva Bible. What, like, huh? Yeah. And then I don't want to hear no people saying we're black, we're more mean black. Because if more mean black, we know in Spanish, well, what do it mean? No, negrito mean black. So stop the stupid stuff. If that's the case, more it'll be black or black. So you can stop the dumb stuff. In Spanish, negrito mean black. Black beans. What? Negrito beans. You know that's the truth. You know that's the truth. So don't come on here playing stupid and retardo fardos. We're not going to do that. All of Africa, Asia, and America, except for us, are black. Russian, Italy, Spanish, Spain, France, Sweden, the Germans, melanation. I can show old pictures in the walls, coins that you can't get rid of, artifacts. The swarthy Russians, Benjamin Franklin essay. Like, I can show stuff that's in the Royal Archives, stuff that they have that most people ain't never seen. Just like every year they had a Greek festival at the Orthodox Church. In the back, they got all the pictures of the Russian icons in the back in gold. I'm telling you. I'm gonna pull up some pictures that I took. Every historian know what I'm talking about. But then our teachers and preachers, I'll be like, man, like, what's the problem? You done took an oath. It ain't no disrespect to nobody. Most of our preachers Freemasons, and people don't even know it. I'm telling you. How I know? Because I know most of the preachers are Freemasons, because when you're dealing with higher science, all I have to do is say a couple things. And then most Freemasons, if you're a real official, they have to shut the light out to you with no disrespect. How? Because I know. It's just what it is, man. All my European Masons, that Scottish Rite Masons, they'll tell you that they are son, or the women, they'll tell you that they women of Muslims. We the only people that say we some stupid widow son. Like, we don't know nothing, like we retarded. I'm trying to tell you. We the only ones that won't say, well, what's the mystery of Jebel, Jeblum, and Jeblim in the Bible? And who had a jubilee? Who is Haram Abith in the biblical scriptures? You see what I'm saying? People will lead you. Well, go on. I don't want to look on the internet. I want to make a good decision. Don't get me caught up in no spookism. Well, let me sit down with a brother, that can teach me some righteousness, especially about who I am. And that shouldn't be no interest of mine. That should just be what? A prerequisite. Do y'all know what a prerequisite is? A prerequisite is you got to do this before you get here. Just like in the Bible, it says, didn't you read this in the book of Yasher and Academia? That's a prerequisite, meaning you should have read all this before you even got here. How you going to question this man about this and you ain't even read all of this? Talk about you know something and you don't even have the pieces to the puzzle. You see? Watch this, y'all. So that's enough for this one. Because I can go deep with that one. But I'm going to go to the other Negro question. Because we on good time. So then I forget the brother that was on the internet when he was talking about the landmass, Judah and Wuda. And I was like, oh, I'll lecture that. And somebody hit me up, was like, Sheik, you talked about that. And I said, yes, I talked about it in Academia. That's why I'll be telling us is I'm not no know-it-all, but I only know what I know. In history, law, and civics, anybody right now is in trouble. I get with the Chicago Review. I get with Quid Pro Quo. I get with Doc Number Free Information Act. You know what you mean? The doc number, the Free Information Act. What you think that mean? The way you be defended in your best interest. The things that I was able to study. Now watch this. When we talk about Europe, watch when we talk about landmass and how we clear this up. Europe powers carved up Africa and what the custom of what European kings they did. But when I talk about cartographers, map makers, it was a cartographer in 1747. Research what I'm doing and what I'm saying. His name was Emmanuel Bowen, and he was the royal cartographer of two European kings, King George of England and King Louis of France. And what you will see is that the map that Emmanuel Bowen brought back to these two kings, in the center of the map, he showed the true name of the so-called slave coast was none other than Judah. Watch this though. Judah was known by 4 different names at that time. Judah, spelled then Wudah, W-H-I-D-A-H, Q-U-I-D-A-H, or Abir. But what happened is that the map maker, he said that this is the same. It wasn't disputed by neither of the kings. And the coast that is inhabited, they were sold into the British colonies, and one being in the North America. You can now, you want to look up this stuff, look up in Northwestern University, the authentic map of West Africa. You can find this stuff where in the University of Northwestern, it's in Evanston, Illinois, has this map in the inventory, and it's listed as an authentic map of West Africa, 1747 by Emmanuel Bowen. Even to this day, there is it's a fort called Fort Ajudah, A-J-U-D-A-H. And when you pull the information up online at Northwestern University, this is what you should get. Northwestern University Library Map of Africa. The title would be A New and Accurate Map of Negro Land. The cartographer would be Emmanuel Bowen, 1747. The size of the image would be 35 by 43 centimeters. The place of publication would be London. The subject would be West Africa. And the identification is at Northwestern University Library. This is what I be telling people. It's so much stuff I can show y'all when they just lie to you all through history. I'm telling you. Listen to this. A Cultural History of Atlantic World by John K. Thornton, Boston University, Cambridge University, the Cambridge University Press. Listen to this. On page 64 through 70, a reference is made that the French had a director at Judah, Wudah, and that the French also had a trading post at Savi, the capital of Judah. Did the writer know that the name Wudah and Judah was the same? The Europeans seem to know where the Negro in the Americas and the Caribbeans came from, don't they? You see? It's a publication written at Louisiana State. On page 67, this is what it says, family. It says that these notes of a white slave recalling the inventory of human beings on a cargo ship. Let's see what he say. He says, he writes that 16 slave trading ships arrived from the Senegal region. 6 ships came from Judah and landed at the mouth of the Mississippi. And in 1731, 1 ship from Judah landed 464 slaves at the mouth of the Mississippi. And on page 69, it states, and I quote, that the Company of India had a trading post of Judah, the Gulf of Benin. They competed with all nations of Europe. The Portuguese, when I talk about the Spanish slave trade or the Spanish acquisition, the Portuguese was taking the upper hand at Judah. In Northwestern University, Boston University, and Louisiana State University have in its possession documents calling the slave coast of Africa Judah. You will believe the academia because they said. That's what we got to understand, y'all. We can't give our history and stuff to nobody else and say it's all fake and this and that. No, it ain't. I can show y'all Maury paintings, things that synonymous to history. When I showed you in my dissertation, when I got my dual master's degree from Grand Canyon University, which is a Christian university, I showed in my oral and my written dissertation that the misnomer black man is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible alone, without no biasness, without no hatred. And I graduated with honors. Look me up. I bet you nobody can't deny that. I bet you nobody can't deny what I just said. And this painting was found in ancient Mesopotamia. It's called the Mari painting. Listen to this. The brown-skinned people in the picture are the ancient Sumerians. Sound familiar? Sumer, Sinir in your Bible. Shinar. That's how they spell it in the biblical scriptures. Research what I'm telling you. It was located near the Tigris and the Euphrates River, modern day Iran and Iraq. The Bible, quote me, in Genesis 11:31, it records that Abraham had his originations in Ur and the Chaldees. Ancient Ur was in the land of Sumer, Sinir in your Bible, or Mesopotamia. So what I'm saying is the tablets that were found in Sumer, in which the ancient Sumerians described themselves as black-headed people, one of the mighty men that lived in that generation that went by the name of Sargon. That great stated, his name was Sargon the Great, stated in his writings that he ruled over the blacks, the black-headed people. They know what I'm saying. You can find these figures. They have this stuff in their libraries. This is what I'll be trying to tell y'all. They be having it with their beards and all locked up. Wait till I go back to the Greek restaurant and people be saying, oh, that's the Anunnaki, and the owners that I know that own the Greek restaurant, they'll say, no, that's the Iberian. They'll say, that's you, Sheik. That's the Moor. Why all our people be out here playing some stupid game, some alien spaceship, big head scientist game. I'm not here to play no game. They're like, that's asinine. And I know certain people, Masons, and I know certain people under Dianetics. You're not going to play no game with me. Like, it's no disrespect. These are just facts. I just wanted to show that little bit. Man, matter of fact, it's so much, y'all. Let me show y'all this picture. Look at this. Y'all ever seen this picture in real life? Y'all ever seen that picture in real life? Look at that. Look at that picture. It's so much in these documents. So much in these documents that we haven't seen to give you some pride. But as I close, because I'm getting close to my time, I'm gonna jump right into One World Tartarians. Right here. When I said, and I done came, this is James W. Lee, European. Watch this. When people be acting like they don't know what's going on. They're like, oh, we don't know this fake. Yeah, man, stop the cap. We know what it is, man. We know what it is. You can't let nobody set your light out. All through history, you known as this. You want to say Tartarians? Still Moors. Still Moors. Every historian know this. They can play all these dumb games they want to, like they don't know. The only people can play games is the ones that's not in the know. And they can play a Masonic game with you because you don't know. And you're not introduced to the know. That's why they created certain religious groups and the misnomer black men and all that with the Masons. Why? Because it is a secret. The secret is you. I'm trying to tell you. I can show you all in the King James Bible how it talk about Tartarus in the King James Bible. Sheol and Tartarus, same thing. They are trying to make everything about you messed up. But I'm going to get to the good part. A lot of this stuff was made up by these so-called Soviet unions and all this stuff. I don't want to stay in too far in that because I want to get to the slave trade part and I'm gonna get out of here. We'll touch on all this later and show you all the mystery that you can see, all the statues. I'll show you what the Sphinx is. I'll show you all this stuff. I'll show you maps, everything. I'll show you all this stuff. That's why I said my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because they got us in a mental twist. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Empress. Yeah, I just got it. Hold on, let me check it out. Yep, I got you. But look, I'm gonna show you how they got us in the mental twist. All of ours, all of us. And we all are guilty. When the truth would be right in front of your face, and you will still promulgate some of the most outlandish slave crap, because that's all we know. And that's all we teach our kids. And I tell brothers and sisters, it's our fault. We're going to keep promulgating a whole bunch of dumb preachers. I'm saying it like that. That won't teach history and culture because we're afraid. That we're afraid. Watch this. When I talk about Islam and all this, I'm not talking about the al-Islam that a lot of people think we're under, because that's not it. I promise you. We were Sufis. I can show you this deep in history. But Islam was in America and had a big influence on America, because you have a total of 565 names, 484 in America and 81 in Canada, of villages, towns, cities, mountains, lakes, rivers, and etc. are etymologically, how can I say, Arabic, or I would say come from the Nabatean alphabet. Which were designated by locals long before the arrival of Columbus. Many of these names are in fact the same names as Islamic places: Mecca in India, Medina in Idaho, Medina in New York, Medina in Hazen in North Dakota, Medina in Ohio, Medina in Tennessee, Medina in Texas, Medina in Arva in Ontario, Mohammed in Illinois, and Mona in Utah are just few noticeable names at the outset. And when you look at this closer, the names of native tribes will immediately reveal Arabic etymology, or Hebraic: Anazia, Apache, Arawak, Arcana, Shavin, Cherokee, Cree, Hokoan, Hupa, Hopi, Maka, Mokian, Mohawk, Nazca, Zulu, and Zuni are only a few. I said Zulu. Credo Matua. You know, when you look at Alabama and Tallahassee, all these names. But what you talk about, what I want to put emphasis on, have you ever heard of the Spanish Inquisition? This is what I ask everybody: write this down and research this. And you'll be like, you're gonna get back with me like, damn, I never even heard of that. Then you should say, well, why they never teach you this in school? Why the preacher don't talk about that? Watch this. Research what the Spanish Inquisition is, what the Dum Diverses is, and also research what the Papal Bull was. But the Dum Diverses of 1452, issued by the Pope, authorizing Christians to enslave Saracens. You know what Saracens were? Saracens and non-believers, and to take their land because no one disappeared. Now then go research the doctrine of discovery. Research what that was all about. And you see, and then you'll start putting real history together. It's just that everyone has become ignorant. There are over 500 cities and towns in the United States named after Muslims, and a huge part of Europe. In the history books, the history education of today are all manipulated. Therefore, Western academics will not get you to they can't get you out the deep sleep, because Western academics is the institution that has put all of us to sleep. And they know it. You can research the Lenape Moors. You can research the Washita. You can research Empress Gaston El Bey of the Washita, the Dundee Moors. This is real facts. Research the true history of the so-called Louisiana Purchase. The Moor comes from the Orient, the Far East. What's also interesting is that the Oriental means Western scholar who studies Islam, according to the book Orientalism by Edward Said. See, this is what they don't want you to know. Islam came from the Orient. Additionally, if you read subsection 4 of the Delaware law, it will tell you that the Lenape Indians were formerly known as Moors. Research what I'm telling you. What did you just say, she? Or did you just say, teacher? Let me reverse. Reverse. If you read section 4 of the Delaware law, it will tell you that the Lenape Indians were formerly known as Moors. The Lenape were Delaware Moors, M-U-U-R-S, M-O-O-R-S. Even in ancient history, Moor was spelled M-O-H-R. However, the word Lenape means we the people. Remember the preamble of the U.S. Constitution? The Lenape also means serpent, dragon, naga, niggas. You remember in the spelling bee, you can research on YouTube. They asked a young European boy, spell niggas. He said, put it in a sentence. Give me the origin. Give me the etymology. Research what I'm telling you. Likewise, the Indians' name, like Sixus or Saxus and Dakota, also means serpent or dragon, because the Moors, Indians, named themselves after the serpent wisdom that they worshiped when Moors ruled the world. But where does Islam come from? Did it come from Mecca, California, Medina, Indiana, Mecca, Indiana, or Morocco, Indiana? Did it come from Sufism, Sophia? Sophia, you know what Sophia in the Bible is? Wisdom, which was a science that come from India. Do all religions come from the Indian superior in the Americas? In the eyes of the hijacked Hebrews, the Templars, the Holy Roman Empire, the Habsburg dynasty, the Holy Land was in possession of the infidels, aka the Muslims, the Moors. That's what they say. Therefore, they were authorized by the dumb diverses of 1452 to take Muslim Jerusalem, the Americas, Granada, away from the Moors, who were Saracens. I hope you all catching what I'm saying. Also read the dumb diverses, which authorized the Templars, the Knights of Christ, to conquer Saracens and pagans, take their possessions, and to subject them to perpetual servitude, aka slavery. And then this papal bull, and none of them were ever rescinded, which is current problem that the Moors in America face, as the Saracens, whom are the red ones, no disrespect, the lost tribe of Israel. The papal bull was issued against the Moors as Saracens in order to take our Muslim Jerusalem away from you, which was Granada. And then when you notice on the 1597 map of Granada, Granada Nova, you can see that the famed 7 cities of Saloba, aka the 7 cities of gold, surrounding the lake and the said map. And Granada has the same name as the pomegranate in Spanish. Isn't that ironic? Because the pomegranate appears throughout the streets of where? Granada in Spain. And you wander around the city. And the pomegranate is also associated with the promised land of Israel, because the pomegranate is a metaphor for the richness of the promised land in Israel. I'm telling y'all, man, read Deuteronomy 8:8. That's why no misnomer black preacher or Islamic imam, I respect everyone, but we're not going to let nobody discredit who we are. We're not going to let nobody come with their stuff like your black skin is a curse. I'm not doing that. I'm going to correct it today to show you that we're not Negro, black, and color and African American, because that's synonymous to slavery today in the eyes of the law. It's civiliter mortis. You got to know that. So we have to be correct when we operate, and we have to understand our religious laws, and we have to understand the two that was taken from us in misnomer slavery, which are our nationality and our spirituality. And when we operate on those pillars, that's and only then we can operate as who? A nation of people. In the song Solomon, Solomon's checks are compared to halves of a pomegranate. In ancient writings, I'll show y'all. I'm telling you. Freemasons know this. Why were all of the corn places destroyed except for the first corn place in South Dakota, the dragon, the serpent? It still exists. Well, because the buildings did not fit in with the current narrative of the Americas being a uncivilized, a new world. So most of the old world, the pre-mud, the flooding, the buildings were either destroyed or converted into federal buildings, courthouses, governor's mansions, capitol buildings, post office, state buildings, universities, etc. I can go all across history and show you this. Wait till I go back to Florida. I'm gonna show you how the university was a Sultan whole palace. Freemasonry also means the masonry that was free. And because all Europeans had to do was dig out these Moorish Tartarian structures from the mud after the Great Comet of 1811 and 1812 had completely destroyed the old world order via massive earthquakes, tidal waves, volcanoes, eruptions, the flood, all that stuff. The Cherokee were the real Romans, and they built all the Greco-Roman architecture and Cherokee Gothic architecture in the Americas. And this map of 1810 shows New and Old California and lands of vast lands of Louisiana Purchase allegory. I'm telling y'all, man, we got all the maps. Nobody can sit up here. Only thing a person be doing to try to deny it is a troll. And we're gonna block the trolls in 1.2 seconds. I got so many maps to back up everything that I'm saying from scholarship. And I did this in academia. We're gonna sit up here and get wound to sleep when I tell people that we don't have no idea. They don't understand the allegory of the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz is a whole allegory. Let me get to this good part before I can get out of here, before I can eat, man. Let me get to this good part. Now, the first natives of America, aka the Blackamoors, or the Black Moors. Author and historian Chancellor Williams said the original Moors, like the original Egyptians, were Black Africans. The 16th century playwright William Shakespeare used the word Moor as a synonym for African. His contemporary Christopher Marlowe also used African and Moor interchangeably. Black soldiers, specifically identified as Moors, were actively recruited by Roman and served in Britain, France, Switzerland, Austria, Hungary, Poland, Romania. Saint Maurice, patron saint of medieval Europe, was only one of many Black soldiers and officers under the employ of the Roman Empire. Although generations of Spanish rulers have tried to expunge this era from the historical record, recent archaeology and scholarship now shed fresh light on the Moors who flourished in Al-Andalus for more than 700 years, from 711 AD until 1492. Remember when Stevie Wonder wrote the song? In 1492, you fell upon a shores, 700 years, educated by the Moors. How the hell Stevie Wonder blind enough to see this? And here it is, we today in the flesh that call ourselves knowing something, don't know that. And Stevie Wonder said it in a song, what is called Misrepresented People, in the intro. Look it up. He say, in 1492, you fell upon a shores, 700 years, educated by the Moors. Didn't he say that? Didn't he say that? Then it's another European named Steely Dan. He wrote a song, I'm never gonna do it without my fez on. Do, 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 do. Oh no, I want to be your holy man. He wasn't disrespecting the fez like some old Dr. U stuff. And even the symbology in Dr. U, the fez meant something. But we don't understand the symbology. Just like in the Bible, Leviticus, 25 and 10, when it's talking about freedom and the Liberty Bell. Well, a metaphor of that Liberty Bell is your fez. And a crack in the Liberty Bell is your freedom being taken. And when you look at the fez, the soft fez turn inside out. Don't it look like the Liberty Bell with the gong? I'm giving you symbology. Every Mason know what I'm talking about. That's why they play the dumb game with you. That's why they play the stupid game. That's why it's all over. It's like an Amos and Andy dumbass game. No disrespect to no one. When they say it ain't no more, where it's only 32 degrees, like it ain't no higher than that. You got to be a joke. They're like, why would anybody sit up here with any sense of their mind? The only reason why they can't say that because their wisdom is pinned down to 32 and 33 degrees of wisdom. Their tassel is pinned down. You can't go no higher with their understanding. I'm telling you what it is. It ain't no hate. Because all my European Muslims and Masons will tell you that they are a son of a Muslim. They're not no widow son. But the Moors' advances in mathematics, astronomy, art, architecture, it helped prepare Europe out of the Dark Ages into the Renaissance. The Moors brought enormous learning to Spain that over centuries would prelocate through the rest of Europe. The intellectual achievement of the Moors in Spain had a lasting effect education was universal in Moorish Spain, while in Christian Europe, 99% of the population was illiterate, and even kings could neither read nor write. That's why Angelo Solomon, the first Moorish Mason, that's why he taught all those kings. They ain't know nothing. At a time when Europe had only 2 universities, the Moors had 17, located in Almeria, Cordova, Granada, Guan, Alga, Malaga, Seville, and Toledo. In the 11th and the 12th centuries, the public libraries in Europe were non-existent, while the Moorish Spain could boast of more than 70, including one in Cordova that housed hundreds and thousands of manuscripts. And today, I got hundreds and thousands of manuscripts. Universities in Paris, Oxford were established after visits by scholars to Moorish Spain. Just like if any scholar come to me, any scholar or educator come to me right now, no matter what color they are, I bet you they can say, I bet you they'd be like, man, this brother got an extensive library. I bet you anyone, I can come from all levels and be like, man, this man got an extensive library. Bigger than Alexander. Why? Because this was my whole academic endeavor. My library is over 1 million books and documents. This is no cap. If any of my muftis jump on my YouTube channel, they'll tell you how extensive our library is. I put the work in. The same way that Google did, spent $25 million, I spent my time and my effort. If I would have had the $20 million, I would have figured it out. Say, I don't have to spend that. It just took me some time. I bet you right now, I got all the documents, ancient, historically, saved in all different places, or all different databases, from all different writers in history, to fact check what everybody be saying. That's why I be telling the person, you can feel how you want to feel about me, but come with the records. Most people don't even know about Godfrey Higgins. Most of our melanated people don't even know who Godfrey Higgins is. Yeah, I got to put a little bit more in there, bro. Hold on. So this is no hate or no slander to no one. I say, man, I put it all on our people. Just like Carter G. Woodson said, the miseducation of the Negro. I mean, we got J.A. Rogers been telling us this history. Sheikh Anadia, Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Amos Wilson. This old history. I wrote books. That's why I be saying I wrote books to show you who we are in history. From without a doubt, I've been through the fire. Come on, y'all. This ain't no disrespect. Anybody I deal with, even all my European colleagues that I deal with, that I tutor their kids, they don't even have to spend the money. That's why I be telling my people, I be like, man, I be like, what are y'all talking about? I can sit with any of my European colleagues, and that's Masons, and they'll be laughing at every misnomer black person that call himself a Prince Hall Mason. They'll be laughing. They'll be like, your brother right here is 99 degrees. Like, don't y'all know this brother got his own charter? And he's educated, and he's from the city of Flint. I mean, what are we talking about? If they listen, why my brothers and sisters won't rock with me? They use their money to build. I can give everybody a tax and receipt. We can have whatever magnum use, just like anybody else. The literature that I'll be having costs stacks on Amazon. Just like I was quoting, coming from the other day, without sanctuary. No, I'm a Moor, I'm a Shi, but I'm all that. I'm all that. When I'm all that. I deal with it all. No, I deal with it all because I have a clear understanding. I'm under the triple rose. I have a love for all my brothers. But when we deal with language and historicalness, I have a love for all my brothers. I deal with the Santeria. I deal with the Orisha. I deal with the Eligua. I deal with all the science. I'm under the triple rose. I have a love for all my brothers. I'm a medicine man. I'm a shaman. So I just go and teach from a perspective, especially if we using the same books. I synchronize the science. I'm a Tasawwuf. I'm a Sufi. So it's what it is. You know, we're all at because all of them come because all these brothers come from a set. Just like when people get power, they corrupt themselves. Just like Yahweh being Yahweh, he was the fruit of Islam. A lot of these people was under the nation. Father Divine, Daddy Grace. A lot of these people was under the prophet. Like when I was studying at GC, when I was in Flint, and a lot of my family was in the Nation of Islam, and people come with this mystic stuff. But when you're a historian, I deal with the facts, and I say, well, listen here, man. The newspapers don't lie. We have to be honest what we're doing. We're not going to deal with no mystery stuff. We're not going to deal with no fake stuff and all this fictitious stuff, because all this, we don't know who this is, because we can clear all that stuff up with 1.2 seconds. How? Because in Detroit, I'm from Flint, Michigan. I used to be in Detroit. I got family members that was part of things in Detroit. When certain people came, people knew. And in certain pictures, the brother next to him, when you blow the picture up, is Ugan Ali. So when people be saying this ain't that person, but that's Ugan Ali right next to him to the right. So if that ain't Ugan Ali, and you trying to say, yep, that is Ugan Ali, well, who is that in the middle? That's who it is. That's why we have to do this stuff right and stop playing a game with each other, man. Because I'm not here to promulgate nothing. I'm trying to show you that you should have pride. You should have pride in everything, even when it comes down with Noble Drew Ali. I got respect for Noble Drew Ali, but we were Moors before that. Research Deuce Muhammad Ali. Research Deuce Muhammad. Research Abdul Hamid Solomon. Research these stuff that I be saying. We don't have to play no Crips and Bloods. No, we deal with wisdom, because wisdom have no jurisdiction. This is what I'm telling you. We deal with the wisdom in this science. And I know who I am on paper today. I know my nationality. I know my race. I know my status. That's what I choose. But I hear people that's uneducated and they don't have real discussions. And I'll be like, dude, clearly you don't know what you're saying. I'll be telling people, clearly you don't understand what you're saying. Clearly, we don't understand what we be saying from a historical aspect. And then we out here playing Crips and Bloods. It's this simple. Listen, watch this. It's very simple. Okay, let me get to the good part. Okay, I talked about astronomy, all that. The intellectual achievement of the Moors in Spain had a lasting effect on education. In Moorish Spain, I talked about all that in the universities. In the 11th and 12th century, the libraries in Europe was non-existent. I talked about all that. It was the system of education taken to Europe by the Moors that seeded the European Renaissance and brought the continent out of the 1,000 years of intellectual and technological gloom of the Middle Ages. So when you look at all those, that chess game and all that, those was Moors playing chess. What you say, Noble, if he just stay here for a little longer, he'll learn something. And that's not a disrespect. We in school as well. Islam to that, Noble, most Noble Dantes, because we on YouTube as well. But let's proceed. Watch this, y'all, because we in school. This don't take all these years of bull crap. And look at the churches and all these places been collecting this tax-free money, and it's nothing happening in the community. We can do something big. I'm telling y'all, man. The Los Angeles Times in June 4th, 1990 reported that when Napoleon visited the Sphinx in 1798, everything but the head was buried in the sand. His soldiers used the Sphinx for target practice, while the Sphinx had already suffered nose damage prior to Napoleon. The greatest destruction took place during his time and his occupation of it. As documented, by Tony Browder and testifies by collection of the Sphinx portraits, he has assembled on page 225 of the book Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization. These 6 portraits draw over a period of 100 years, 1698 to 1798, and are the only current evidence able to show the progression of the nose destruction. Besides the Sphinx, a large percentage of Afroid committed structures are missing the nose, whereas European looking figures are intact. And I'm gonna show y'all, and I can do a whole nother lecture of how they whitewashed all the stuff, like the figure, the Artemis, that statue Artemis, they whitewashed it. I'm telling you, and it's all in the Bible. I'm telling you, the god Artemis. I'll show you all this stuff. Faces of the African feature sculptures were also altered to appear Caucasoid by Kamet's European conquerors. A Sphinx statue on display in the British Museum admits that the face, it admits that Nefertiti too. It admits that the face stature was reworked during the Roman occupation of Europe, of Egypt, reporting on the riddle of the racial identity of the ancient Egyptians. Count C. Vonley, a distinguished French scholar who visited Egypt in the late 1700s, wrote with astonishment, and I quote, "When I visited the Sphinx, it appearance gave me the key to the riddle. Beholding the head, typically Negroid in all its features." He later added, the Egyptians were true Negroes of the same type as all the native-born Africans. But the New World Order, Romanov destinies would often deface statues of past monarchs in order to erase and diminish their legacy. And in the cases, the removal of the noses would be accomplished by others. Yeah, they copied you. Yeah, more extensive facial disfigurements, as well as the destruction of inscriptions and symbols of office. So not only did they disfigure the noses, they tried to erase the writings for you can see their chiefdom. I'm telling y'all, man. That's why they don't want us to be educated and historical. They want us to be on our knuckles like we some slaves. Well, we ain't no slaves. We just have to come back to loving each other. I'm telling y'all, man, it's that simple. Watch this. Now watch this, because we almost done. Another huge New World Order lie is the transatlantic slave trade out of Africa. So this is the story. This is the story right here. Some 12.5 million Africans were taken from their homes and forced aboard slave ships that were destined for the New World. About 10.7 million people survived the horrors of the Middle Passage between 1526 and 1866, only to end up in bondage or sugar on rice and cotton and tobacco plantations. Throughout the Americas and the Caribbean, the transatlantic slave trade is the largest forced migration in history. Black people are indigenous to the Americas. Black Native Americans are not a resort of the so-called Red Indian mixing with slaves. The so-called Red Indian came from mixing with the European colonists and the Asians that were in America before Columbus. The first Native Americans were Mongolian Tartarians. Melville Herkovitz, a European anthropologist, was one of the originators of out of that Africa theory. Herkovitz never had any historical, archaeological, or anthropological proof that Black people of America ever derived from the West and the North Africa. Consequently, Herkovitz crafted the theory that Blacks arrived in America from the transatlantic slave trade, which allegedly brought in more than 10 million African slaves. According to the National Archives of Spain and Smithsonian records, there was no evidence to prove 70,000 ships with Black Africans ever sailed to the Americas. Melville carried out the teachings of his mentor, Franz Boas. You know who Franz Boas is if you're a historian. To make the original copper color races of the Americans inferior. Get the 1828 Webster Dictionary and tell me what you see when you look up America. Tell me what you get when you look up American. Right now, you look up the 1828 Webster Dictionary and tell me what you get when you see American. Tell me. And then we can start clearing it all up. And the European presence superior. Before this time, Blacks coming from Africa through the transatlantic slave trade, a story never existed. Never existed. As a result, Melville's work has been fragmented and used as propaganda by writers like Harold Colander. Remember, y'all hear me talk about Harold Colander? Harold Colander, he wrote a book called The African. And Alex Haley, the Negro everybody loved, wrote that fake root stuff. And Alex Haley plagiarized all that propaganda, all that Negro propaganda from this European named Harold Colander, his book called The African. Some whole fake stuff. And then in academia, in the misnomer Black universities, these goofy, I'm saying it with all love, the Black professors, the misnomer Black professors, have you reading some damn roots as some Willie Lynch as required reading, and it's all propaganda. And it's all propaganda. It's all propaganda. He perpetrated the myth of the transatlantic slave trade through the hit movie Roots. Just like some Willie Lynch letter. It's fake. I lectured this at GCU, had all them professors looking stupid as hell in the face. I said, no. I said, now, are y'all Freemasons? Did y'all take an oath to be in academia and have this as required reading for these misnomer black students to come in with this BS? And my European professor is a potentate out here in Arizona at a Masonic hall. He was like, if you can prove what you're saying, you can talk in any class, or you can speak in your own lectures in the cathedral. And that's what I used to do. And I used to do it in the libraries. I used to have all the students come. They used to be like, well, why are these professors talking that crap? I said, now you can use this scholarship to combat that BS. Yeah, it was crap. It was crap. And then I said, well, it is. No, it's fake. It's all fake. There ain't no such thing as Willie Lynch letter. Most Negroes heard that at the Million Man March. And I'm telling you, I don't care. I love brothers and sisters that help people. But when you come with some fake stuff and say, well, it's still about, no, it's fake. It's fake. And we wasn't brought here on no ship. We were enslaved, and some were enslaved right here on your own land. If they were brought on ships, the numbers are extremely exaggerated. Watch this. It was published that 15 million to 20 million slaves arrived when in Americas between 1540 and 1850 over a 310-year period. Okay, so if that's the case, according to what? U.S. history books, the Stuart Synopsis points out a few questions that should be examined. Over a period of 300 years, it is fair to say that 60,000 slaves were transported annually to the Americas. Or has the transportation of slaves to the Americas been one big myth? Because the largest seagoing vessel carrying 400 slaves, but not all of the ships were that big. Time of the passage was 3 to 4 months. That means 200 vessels, ships per year would have to travel carrying 300 people. One ship could make 3 passages per year. The Transatlantic Slave Trade database says that there were over 1,100 to 1,400 voyages made over a 300-year period. Watch the cap. If this the case, and each ship carried 400 people, the total number would be 560,000 Africans were transported. It still don't add up. That's why I'm telling y'all, man, it's bullcrap. And we already know that 83% of all Americans with African ancestry have Native American blood. Did the Native American tribes help slaves escape, or were Americans with African ancestry already part of the Native American nations? See, all that fake boat, all that stuff is cap. No one can come with facts. They throw that to us. After 20 years, the Royal Adventure, with its 15 ships, had transported between 90,000 and 100,000 slaves. That's a long way from 15 million to 20 million slaves who were supposedly brought to the Americas. Doesn't that leave a little over 14 million to 19 million people not accounted for? What's up with that, y'all? Or was the misnomer black birth rate more accurate than the others? Because because the median of 15 and 20 million would be 17.5 million divided by 400 people. The largest slave vessels, that comes out to 43,750 trips, y'all. Can you show me any record where this many ships occurred, or these trips occurred, or the number of trips calculated by the so-called experts? It's cap. Figures exist of 27,000, 35,000 voyages. And the same thing happened with the so-called Holocaust in Germany during the World War II. It ain't no disrespect. We're dealing with history. 6 million people were supposedly killed, but there are not that many names referenced who died, totaling 6 million. In fact, the official story has reduced the number to under 1 million. Stuart Synopsis lists these black native tribes. This is what they say. Saying with the Moors sold slaves and caught their own to sell to the white man. That's true in a part of history. I got all the documents. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, it's just like in here. Negroes kill each other every day. Just like Hitler used, most other people in Hitler regimen were under Islam and they were the Feds. When they overthrew Patrice Lumumba in the Congo, They couldn't just overthrow them. Those people from Belgium, they used their own people. And Leopold used the fez as part of the uniform. This is what I'll be telling people. We have to have a clear understanding of history. We have to have a clear understanding of history. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Everything that I talk about, I've done it in academia. I've lectured it. Yes, I say again. I said that part of Hitler regimen, the Europeans, whatever you want to call them, were Muslims, and they studied the Quran, and they were the Fez. And also in the Congo, when they overthrew Patrice Lumumba, when part of his people did it, Leopold had those people wearing part of their uniform was the Fez. Point blank. That's why I said we have to be historical. But the Fez is ancient, called a tarbouche and all that. So when we say this and these people did this, you can go to the continent of Africa and certain places and have these militant killing people in the community. It's happening right now. Certain militia, it's happening right now. It's happening right now. So when people say, well, the Moors killed this, man, we talk, okay, in the continent of Africa, stuff is happening. But we can't say all the people did this on a historical base and say, well, the Moors are traitors. Like, that's cap. Negroes over here kill each other today, and they ain't a part of nothing. This is what I be trying to tell people. Historically, everybody's not a part of every part of history. It's a part of history everywhere. This is what I tell people. Brothers killing each other, Crips and Bloods, all that today. Killing people over a woman today. So when brothers try to make an excuse of not to understand who they are, they'll say, well, the Moors killed the Africans. Man, like, what are we talking about? And that's sad to say. You know, when we be like that, and we not from a historical perspective, when I say Africa was never named after a European, when I done broke this down historically in university, for we should all be clear and be like, damn, that make a lot of sense historically. I know it do, because that's just what happened. You know, it's just what it is. You know, but Stuart synopsis lists a lot of those native tribes, the Washita of Louisiana, the Midwest, the Yamasee, the Southeast, Iroquois, Cherokee Nation, Blackfoot, Pequot, Mohegans of Connecticut, the Black Californians, the Califans. Cal, the Californians, literally means black, after the name of the great Mama Kali, Queen Khalifa, the Olmec of Mexico, the Daranite of Panama. You know, 4.25 million African slave ships to Brazil and Mexico. The story goes over the course of 300 years from the 16th to the 19th century. The Brazil imported around 4 million slaves, some 40% of the total transatlantic slave trade. The overwhelming majority came from the former Portuguese colony of Angola, located on the Atlantic coast of southern Africa. On July 9th, the United Nations Educational Science and Culture Organization, UNESCO, named Valongo. You can eat, babe. Wharf, and your mom, Wharf, a World Heritage Site, along with Northwest England's Lake District, the walled city of Ahmedabad in India, and the sacred Japanese island of Okashima, which doesn't allow women on the shores. You know? So of the new sites of the list, none has a darker past than Valongo or Valonga, Valongo, Wharf, WHARF, built in 1811. The wharf functioned as South America's leading slave port. It was here that as many as 900,000 enslaved African men, women, and children were held before and sold on the Brazilian slave market. Those who didn't survive the ordeal, who died during the transatlantic journey or sometime after, arrived at the wharf, were buried in mass graves nearby. Mexico claims African slaves as well. A total of 186,766 Africans were imported into Mexico during the 300 years of the Spanish slave trade. Looking at the appearance of modern Mexicans, it appears clear that the now just made up the number without any proof or evidence of the veracity of these claims. There is no way that 1,867,766 black-skinned Mongols could be responsible for the pigmented side of well over 1 million light and dark skinned mestizos. The American Negro or Indian or Blackmore or Mongolian Tartarian is the oldest man on earth. The oldest chromosome on earth was found in a man from South Carolina and is unrelated to African lineage. There are more pyramids in the Americas than anywhere else. The Mayak or the Ixi, as in Miex, conquered the Nile Valley, Arabia, Afghanistan, India, Vietnam, and Cambodia. The statues of Buddha are simply images of Osiris, the ruler who conquered the known world in a remote epoch of human history. There are many sources the Old Testament takes place in the Americas. You know that. I can show you in your Bible. It's a word. You'd be like, what you mean the Americas? It means the Americas when you look it up. I'll show you. Every scholar knows this. Mexico is the original land of America Negro, who is the Olmec, the Exi, the Aztec, the Toltec. You know? Yeah, I know. I know our children need to know this. In North America, he is the Algonquian, the Choctaw, the Washita, the Pequot, the Wampanoag, the Lenni, the Lenape, the Iroquois, etc., and so on. The Spanish and the Portuguese captured and sold what they call Negro de Terra into the European slave markets. The Dutch and the English didn't even enter Africa until the late 1700s, yet slavery started in 1492. Remember, Columbus was a Portuguese Moor named Salvatore Fernando Zarco, and many of the European monarchs in Europe were also Negroes who came to America as they were being pushed out of Europe by white European Catholics. Y'all know this. Remember the conquistadors were sent to the West Indians to destroy the kingdom of the blacks and reduce them to servitude and slavery. It was known as the Dum Diversis, the doctrine of discovery, and the Inquisition. Research what I'm telling you. All you got to do is research the Dum Diversis, the doctrine of discovery, and the Inquisition. Research those and gave Catholic kingdoms the right to murder, rape, enslave, and torture all those not under the authority of the Vatican and the Pope. Fact check me and see if I'm lying to you. You'll be like, dang. I'll be like, no. America is the old world, and Columbus called his first voyage the Last Crusade to conquer the Holy Lands of Mexico and Peru, which means Heru, or House of Heru, or Jerusalem, which became Jerusalem. It also known as the Navel, or the navel of the world. Remember, it's a book called the War of Ferdinand and Isabella. It's a little bitty red book. It's all in the libraries. Ask my empress. I bought them all and actually give them to students. And then one European student hit me up. He was like, "She, your history is all in this book." I said, "I told you." It's in the War of Ferdinand and Isabella. Everything right in there, right in your face. But Teotihuacan means city of Tahuti or Thot, and Tenochtitlan, which became Mexico City, means city of Enoch. Mexico is named for Moses or Mixi, like Moshe or Moshai. And the Old Testament contains volcanoes, corns, bears, tobacco, all which are where? Native to what, y'all? America. Come on, Sean. You see? If the Old Testament contains volcanoes, corns, bears, tobacco, all which are native to what? The Americas. I can show you in history where certain people had these things in their system, only native to a certain area. That means they what? They travel. Utah is Utah and contains the city of Moab. The Great Salt Lake is the Dead Sea. There are more pyramids and megalithic structures in the Americas than anywhere else, including the Nile Valley. But the New World Order tells the story backwards. The Negro is the Indian or the copper-colored indigenous people of the Americas, who is actually a redskin. I don't know. Many think black people are black, yet there are many shades of copper, which is the color of earth. We are the copper color races. If you look at old dictionaries, you will see that nigger, Nigger, and Indian were synonymous, and that color is simply short of copper color. Color is that short of copper color. Message. Why do you think they keep changing or titles from India to Negro to colored to African American? The Blackmore, the AKA Negro, is the most copied man on earth. Yeah. Toltecs, Mayans, Aztecs, etc. All were black Moors. I don't care how they want to say it. Ivan Van Sertima told you, and they came before Columbus. Most historians, anthropologists, and scholars refer to the Olmecs as the mother culture of prehistoric Mexico. The presence of the Olmecs predates the Mayan civilization by more than 1,500 years and the Aztecs in Mexico by as many as 2,500 years, which will indeed make it the oldest pre-Columbian civilization society in Mesoamerica. Emerging from the jungles of Mexico, southernmost Gulf Coast, the Olmec influence spread through Central America and manifested itself in art, architecture, religions. When you go to Cancun, right around the corner, you got the Olmec Museum. Go check it out. Religious rituals and other races. There is enough evidence from architecture digs to support the idea that the Olmec civilization possessed several of the characteristics of a civilization: a social structure, a political structure, and economic structure, religion, and art. The Tolan of Aztec mythology was removed from its sumptuous places and awe-inspiring buildings made from gold, jade, turquoise, quetzal feathers, those type of feathers from those animals. The city was also thought to have been flooded with wealth generated by the gifted Toltec craftsmen, highly skilled in metallurgy and pottery. I mean, I can go on. The Olmec colossal heads are stone representations of human head sculptures, and all of them look different, y'all. From large basalt boulders, they range in height from 1.17 to 3.4 meters, 3.8 to 11.2 feet, y'all, and weigh between 6 and 50 tons. The heads are a distinctive feature of the Olmec civilization of ancient Mesoamerica. All poetry, mature individuals with fleshly cheeks, flat noses, and slightly crossed eyes. Their physique characteristics correspond to a type that is still common among the inhabitants of Tlaxcala and Veracruz. The backs of the monuments often were brought from the Sierra de los Tuxtlas mountains of Veracruz. Given that the extremely large slabs of the stone used in their production were transported over large distance, over 150 kilometers or 93 kilometers. Man, look at this. Look like history, y'all. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. This is what we need to know. But I can go on and on, y'all. I just wanted to give a little tittle of history. And I reckon if you don't have to go to Amazon. If anybody know me, you don't have to go to Amazon. Everything that I speak on, I have a whole library. I converted a lot of books to ebooks. We print and bind them. So you see this book like this, we print it and bind it. It's a book on Amazon right now called I'm gonna offer y'all a gift. Watch this. Oh, Sean. Almost. I'm just finna show this book and I'm done. I'm just about to show this book and I'm done, baby. Here it go. Damn. I got it. All right. Now, as we close, I want to show you all these books. When I say I print and bind, I keep telling people, man, they be missing out. But it's all good. I'm going to show you all the book. When I say get with me, because none of us should be paying as much for paper. Watch this. Oh, they don't even have it. Oh man, they don't have it on here. Oh man. Oh, they don't even got the book no more. Oh, y'all, hold on. Let me see. They don't even have it for y'all. Oh, here, let me see. I may have to punch her name. Oh, here we go. Let's see how much the book costs. Okay, it went down a little bit. That's good, but they play with it. It's $198 now. It's $198, which is that's a good price. Well, I wouldn't know. No, it ain't no good price because this shouldn't even cost that much. That book was like $1,500 a minute ago. But I print these books. I got all the original books. I just print them for my brothers and sisters to be for cheaper. And I lectured all these books in academia. I just printed this one for somebody, but he wanted to cover color, so I kept it. So let me show y'all the next book. So watch, in about a week, I'm gonna show y'all how this book is gonna cost more. Watch. Let's see this book right here. Let's see this book go down. See, they go any cheaper. Oh, this one went down too a little bit. Okay, that's good though. That's good. It went down. It went down to used. It's $360 used. And I'm not saying that's a good price. That's still expensive. So right now you're looking at $360, $460 right now for 2 books right now on Amazon for these paper. And it's the whole book. I print it and bind them, and I got them as ebooks. So this book right here, $360. Melanin, the chemical key to black greatness. Only like 100 some pages. It's gonna go up. Watch. It's gonna go up, but it's only a used book. I'm telling you, and it's right here. And it's right here. And it's right here. Brother, I got my own, we got our own temple in school called the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School on YouTube. I got my own book company that I print and bind books at binditbooks.com. I also got my own company where I converted books to ebooks at My PDF Books. That's books with a Z. But you can get with me right now, brother. And I'm glad you're saying that. You know what? Before I even proceed, I am glad. Who said that? Wes Lander, you said how to contact you for these books pronto. Watch this, brother. The same way I do when I be on the college campus, when I lecture every Wednesday, and after I lecture, I offer these books. And this how the college students be on it, because you should know anyone how much books are overpriced. When you go to college, the kids' financial aid be ate up with some books that the professor might only use a couple chapters. When they try to return it, if they bought a book for $400, they only gonna get $20-some. So a lot of these historical books, a lot of books, I can trump the wisdom, history, philosophy, anything. Why? Because I went through the fire. So make a long story short, a lot of these books, a lot of these college students say, I don't care about paying all that much money on Amazon. You're like, why would I want to do that? And I know you, and you lecture the books and you teach the books and you print it and bind them. He was like, I can get the book from you as an ebook and print it and bind it and have it on my tablet forever for a fraction of the price. I'll be like, yeah. That's why I be telling brothers and sisters, nothing is new under the sun. Our brothers and sisters don't want to pay for nothing, but they'll go right to Amazon and pay for stuff overpriced. And somebody right here have a full library. 2 years of my academic endeavor, I spent converting books to PDF and build my database. 2 years of my academic endeavor. Real talk. So if you want to get with me, man, all you got to do is hit me up. My Gmail is Goodman, my name, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. That's how you can get with me. If any of my muftis on here, you can get with them. I don't know if any of my muftis on YouTube, but if any of my muftis on YouTube give y'all information and get with the brother, you know, and that's how we can do things. I'll build your whole library. I've done it a plethora of times. I'll do it for everyone. Now here it is, the Russian icons, this book right here with the plates in it. Don't try to be cheap and say, oh, I saw one on Amazon for $185, because the one on Amazon for $185, it don't even have the plates in it. So you would be disgusted thinking you being slick. I wasn't gonna give you that nugget, but somebody tried to do that when they was watching me. They said, "Well, I'll just buy the book for $185," but I offered you the damn book and the PDF for $50. The book that costs $7.59. Your goofy ass, excuse my candor, and went and spent $185 and gonna try to act like it. Everybody was laughing because in the book, it's no place in it. It's no place. It's none of this stuff in it. There's none of this stuff in the one for $100 some dollars. None of it's in here. That's why I be laughing. That's why I be laughing. And it's $7.95. It's $7.95 on Amazon. It's $7.95. $7.59. I'm sorry. $7.59. That's why I be laughing at our people. Let's deal with it. Let me pull up another one. Our people don't know because they're not into the know. Watch this. Let's see what this one is. Let's see. Oh, let's see how much this one is. The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War. This one, $975 still. $978. This right here. The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War. So what was the value I just gave y'all right there? Did anybody add all them prices up? Did anybody add all them prices up? And this is just for a couple books. Hell, and I'll give you the One World Tartarian. I'll give you the One World Tartarian for free. Because it ain't even expensive on Amazon. I think it's about like $17, but it's packed with so much wisdom. I'm trying to tell you. Anybody do the math of those couple books I just did? You tell me the number. Ain't nobody gonna buy these books. 1, 2, 3. That's 4 books. 4 books. That costs a couple grand. And nobody see the value of what we doing. And then I have a bigger library. When I say, and I'm not bragging, my library is extensive. I'm just keeping it 100. If anybody show me the total number of those books, I guarantee you it's a couple grand. I just showed you the Forgotten, all what he say, over 2 grand. Absolutely. Over 2 grand. Who have these? I bet you nobody you know personally have these. You can go on YouTube and hear people talk about the ancient blacks. These ain't no ancient blacks. They're the Russian icons. No one in first century called themselves no ancient black. Black wasn't used to describe ethnicity. We got to clear it all up. No one has this stuff. So when I did these lectures at GCU and I offered all these documents, they said, well, you got them printed and bind it? Because I print and bind them a lot. The college students bought these from me. They put their money together. They bought each one for $100 a piece. I said, I don't want to sell it to y'all for that much. They're like, no, we put our money together, she. They're like, and we'll just print them and bind them. They're like, we don't want to hustle you. They bought every book for me for $100 a piece. They put their money together. That's why I'll be telling us we look stupid when we say we don't have money. They was like, no, each book $100. They allow me to make money. I gave everybody a tax exempt receipt. Some people didn't want it. They were like, the value of this. And a lot of them wrote about this in college. This what I'll be saying. I have things that you can touch and hold. Like when Moors be coming with that fake stuff, I just start reading the state booklet to tell you that they all going to jail. All the Moors that talk about they do this and with the fake paperwork, all criminals. And so that's what I wanted to share with y'all, man. But I love y'all. Thank y'all for taking time out y'all day. But please subscribe to our Temple and Page YouTube channel at Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. And if you want to build your library, if you're a historian, if you're a kid going to school for anything, for history, religious studies, or fake African-American studies, I got you. I can illuminate everything from love. I have everything. A lot of, just like I'll leave y'all with this. Like the original so-called Jew is the Igbo. I showed this. Everything that I talk about, I've done in academia. I'm just doing a reverse. And I'm trying to bring my people together and show y'all what we can do and have our own temple and school and library. And we don't have to listen to no jacklegs just talking a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Like this science don't belong to us. I synchronize the teachings. And I'm telling y'all, everybody need this right here. Write this stuff down. As I close, you need The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War, A New Look at Slavery. You need this. You need this for your library. You need Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. You need Melanin, The Chemical Key to Black Greatness the harmful effects of toxic drugs on melanin centers within the black human. You need this. You need criminalizing a race, free blacks doing slavery. You need this. And I'll give you Russian icons, packed with so much history, packed with so much wisdom. You know, packed with so much wisdom. If you're serious about this, you see all these pieces of documents, thousands, and I'll lecture everyone for you. And these are the whole books, as we do in our book club. If anybody go on our web page, on our YouTube page every Friday, oh damn, it's about that time, ain't it? Damn, let me get out of here. They might be playing one. Because this book, yep, they playing book club now. Damn. So let me get off of here, man. But y'all get with me. Hit me up. Come on, y'all. I'm a community. If I don't have it, I can get it. I have a plethora of everything, and I share it with everyone. I'm not here to try to convert no one. I know who I am. I teach science, history, show you what we can do with our dollars. I teach microeconomics, macro. I teach you what the religious laws is. I teach you who we are historically. And I'm telling you what we can do. And we don't have to beg nobody or complain. We have the right to do everything that I'm saying. And once we wake up, we can let everybody else argue, and we can do what we need to do. Do anybody got any questions? Do anybody got any questions? I'm gonna put my books back and I'm gonna see, do anybody got any questions? If not, we're gonna wrap it up. And thank you. Let me see. Anybody say anything? If not, I'm out of here. I'm about to smash. How to get the people. Like I said, y'all know how to get with me. Hit me up. Brother Wastelander, my information on there. You send me an email, anything, correspond with me, get with me, anything you need. How can we access those books? All you got to do is get with me. I gave y'all my information. I gave everybody my info. Dantes, would you put it on again? Let me cut this off real quick. Uh-oh, Sean. What are you watching, babe? You ate? Look, I wash my hands. You is the mess, Sean. But once again, y'all, all y'all got to do is get with me. My email, once again, Goodman, Goodman, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. I have a plethora more. I got so many books that's expensive that I converted to PDF. And when I print it and bind it, you can go back on my YouTube channel and see I've done so many book sales on the college campus at GCU and all different colleges out here. I've done book sales on my own. I tutor kids at the library, at Peoria Library. I read to a lot of college students. I'm a mentor. I help college students write in APA format. I help them research. And so, you know, I'm just glad that I've been introduced and I have a plethora of wisdom. And that was something that I like. Is it possible to email me? Absolutely. Absolutely. My email is Goodman, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. I have so many books. You know, I even have ancient books called The Atlantis of Latter Days. No disrespect, my European Mason colleagues. The European call themselves El Elyon. And my brothers think that heavy, but that's just lower level science. And that book probably not even available. It's called Atlantis of Latter Days. Let me show you all the book before we get out of here. Oh, here it is, right here. Y'all ever seen this? Let's see if they got this on Amazon real fast before we get out of here. Let's see if they got this on Amazon. Yep. Let's see how much they got this bad boy for. Okay, they got it on Amazon. It's $444. See? Here it go right here. $444. I bet you go on other platforms, this mug probably costs stacks. Here go the original right here. And when I be telling brothers and sisters that be playing that stuff, all the European Masons, it ain't nothing but the Osiris mysteries. I'm telling you, no disrespect. No disrespect. They can come with the Fugazi and this boy and this bad boy right here costs $444. Right here. See y'all? You want to know what's in it? A lot. You know? How did I acquire so many books? I told you through my academic endeavors. Carlin, I'm gonna show you a lot. Tomorrow I'm gonna show in my basement through my academic endeavors. It's just something that that I love. I can show y'all pictures, even though I was a nugget when I was young. I always loved to read and study. I can show y'all a picture when I was young. My mother and them had a whole library. So one of my punishments was making me read and study. I got so many dictionaries from ancient times, all this stuff in my garage. So as I got older, when I moved to Arizona, I used to start going to the Goodwill looking for certain ancient books. And my professors used to give me a list. And they used to be like, if you find this stuff, it's worth money. I got books I got from the Goodwill that I got for a quarter that's worth $500, $600, $700, $800. I got dictionaries that are worth $500, $600, $700. Just like right now, when the Anglo-Saxon, I love my European colleagues or my Anglo-Saxons, but I got their dictionary. I got their Anglo-Saxon dictionary to show you what white mean and how they spell it. So you don't get caught up in the spell, to show you really what white mean and how it's spelled in their Anglo-Saxon dictionary. See, these is facts. And here go to all the original books. And all the books don't mean nothing. What I do is I'm a historian. You know, that's all. I'm not here to tell nobody all the books, this, that, and the other. But what things do, it can get you the history. It can get you the closest place you need to be. And then you can compare and contrast, you know? And that's what I'm telling us. As brothers and sisters, I have a plethora of wisdom. Just like when a lot of religious brothers be talking that stuff, when I said, all you got to do is research the word pseudepigrapha. Research what pseudepigrapha is, and you'll be like, damn, sheep. And then I started getting in the Nabatean alphabet, and I start showing you what a lot of people say they know, they don't know. And then historically, with law and history, we can prove what we're saying without a shadow of a doubt. So once again, brothers and sisters, if you want to build your library, and I go over all books, I have a plethora of books. Here go another one of my muftis that has jumped on here. Yeah. Here go another one of my muftis that jumped on here. My mufti, Brian Higgs Bay, he can attest how extensive our library is. Yeah, the Nabatean alphabet. I can go all in the Surah library. I can go so far with the history when I tell people, like, I don't know what we're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, research the Nabatean alphabet. When you start seeing the Aramaic alphabet, when a lot of these brothers that we talk about, they understand the Arabic Quran. And I say, no, you don't. And then I say, man, a lot of that stuff is Jewish text, ancient Jewish Talmudic text, word for word. Then they be getting upset. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. It's just what it is, because a lot of our brothers and sisters are not scholars. And it's no disrespect to no one. That's why I tell us, listen, I'm not here to tell nobody this and that. I'm not here to tell you what it is and what is that. I'm telling you, I know who I am. And I'm telling you what I represent. And I have every right. And I tell you, before I say I'm some Negro, colored, Black, African-American slave, I have pride to say that I'm a Moor. I can trace Moor all through history. M-O-H-R, M-O-O-R, M-U-U-R, all through history. All through history, you can trace your Moorish legacy, but we're gonna always say, well, the Moors killed the Africans. No, people kill people every day. And I told y'all, research the history of Leopold in the Congo. Leopold used the fez and their army outfits when they killed the Africans for the black gold, and they cut their arms off. And they killed and murdered, assassinated Patrice Lumumba. Research the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, and then come back to me and have a conversation. Y'all don't know what you think happened with the Big Six and with the African American Summit with Jesse Jackson. And all those preachers split $250,000 to sell you out. And we want to talk about what the Moors did this, but we want to talk about what people did in common days to get you off of who you are. And they all split $250 million. We're not going to talk about that. It is, Carlin. That's why I tell people, I said, dude, nobody can be mad at what I'm saying. I'm anointed and consecrated. I have my own charter. What I'm telling you is we've been lied to our own people, because all Europeans are sons of a Muslim. They'll tell you this. They'll tell you that they're sons of a Muslim. Every European Mason. That's what I'm telling y'all. That's what I'm, as I end this today. All my European Mason colleagues will tell you they're a son of Muslim. And go back on my YouTube page. Yes, go on my YouTube page and pull out my European colleague, the Scottish Rite Mason, showing you giving credit to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. Hell, I got the book. Damn. What's the name of the book, Muslim? Moso? I can pull it up on my phone that he was quoting. Let me see. And they got the European on there with the Fez of Islam in the book. He said, I don't know why these misnomer black people and these Muslims act like they don't know who Noble Drew Ali is. What's the name of the book, Moso? If any of my Muftis on here. Look at my Noble. Yep, look at my Noble. Look at my Noble. Own it. Arabian Nights. Let me see, can I pull it up on here? Let's see. Telling y'all, man, I got everything for y'all. When they be trying to disquote something. Nope. I'll pull it up and I'll use all European scholars. Where do I got? Damn, Maso. You said it's Arabian Nights? Damn, let me see. Is it in this phone? Here it go. Yeah. Here it go. Here it go. Here it go. Here it go, family. You see? When I show you, right here. Right here. Right here. Here it go. And then you go on my YouTube channel and pull up, and I show you that the Scottish Rite Mason is giving credit to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. In this book, it tells you they always play a game. It's right here. Look at that. You see what he got on his head? See, brothers? So when people be coming with that crap, that cap, they better go sit down and have a seat. Our own people been lying to us. I be waiting for them, brothers. It's right here in your face. And then you can go on my YouTube page and see, or pull it up right now and say the Scottish Rite Mason, or giving credit to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. And that European Mason, if me and him sat and talk right now, which I don't got to reveal what I know, he'll be like, oh, well, he's 99 degrees because I ain't took no oath. I'm initiated. I ain't took no oath. Just like going through academia, just like going through martial arts. You initiated with your goals. When you get to a black belt, that just means you're ready to learn. That's what I'll be telling y'all, man. Don't nobody have no power over us. How the Arabian Nights inspired the American dream, 1790 to 1935. To 1935. That's why I don't have no problem when I operate. You be hearing these jackleg Moors talk about they be getting harassed by the police and all this. No, they not me. All this stuff y'all be thinking about masonry, these Negroes, they ain't never been stepped in on Masonic house. It's all cap. It's all Scooby-Doo goofy stuff. And when you take the mask off of them, it be they goofy asses. Like some Amos and Andy shit, Kingfish stuff. That flat out. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you. All my European Masons will tell you that they a son or a daughter of a Muslim. They ain't no stupid ass widow son. I'm telling you, ask any of my European colleagues, they'll tell you that they're not no widow son, they're a son of a Muslim. Ask them, ask them, ask them, ask them with all love and respect. So when people be coming with this stuff, a lot of people don't know that a lot of stuff is wrapped up in Masonic science. And people know I'm telling the truth. Elijah Muhammad was a Mason. How you think he knew a little bit more? They all was Masons. Farrakhan is a Mason. I'm telling you what I know. If any of these Negroes get on here lying, I'll show you their charter. These is facts. That's why they all knew a little bit more. They all knew a little bit more, but then they hide it. I'm telling you what I know. No one can get on here and play no game with me. I ain't no little kid out here playing. I'm telling you what I know for a fact. I stand on it by myself like I've been doing. That's cap. They was all part of some higher wisdom. These Negroes that came out the womb with no wisdom, them Negroes was part of something. And when it became part of something, they subjugated their own people. They took an oath. I'm telling you what I know. This is what I know. And the European will tell on you. I don't care how they want to come with the cap. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I did a whole documentary on the Nation of Islam and where that whole stuff come from. I don't care how nobody feel about it. I'll pull out all the paper from Detroit, all the newspaper and all that with what happened when they sacrificed, when they killed that brother. And when they all sent them to see what they asked was crazy. And then when these brothers we all try to talk with that same Candace, try to say, well, that's not him. Well, then the brother that's still alive, that was with the prophet, Melchizedek, he got the picture behind him. He say it's him. I got some other elders that be saying, no matter how other Moors feel, they know it's him. And then when I show the picture of the so-called Fire Muhammad, and they say, well, that ain't him. And then I say, let's blow the picture up a little bit more. And on his right-hand side, who is that brother? That's Ugan Ali. You know who Ugan Ali is. Though, if that's Ugan Ali, that's the man that they say it is, and everybody know it. We can't play games with each other. I'm telling you, we're not going to play these Masonic games with each other. I'm telling you what I know. I'll be waiting for these brothers to come with this stupid stuff. We'll pull out all the documents and all the transcripts to say, please, even our prophet, he wasn't no dumb person. Our prophet was under Masonic wisdom. Like, are we stupid? All the Europeans will tell you it's yours, signs and symbols of the primordial man. Albert Churchward to tell you all this science is yours. The European will tell you all this science is yours. If you look at it with an open eye, it ain't nothing but the Osiris mysteries in the Bible. Wasn't Moses Moshaite learn and all the sciences of the Egyptians and the mystery schools? Come on, brothers and sisters. It's wrapped up in masonry. We don't have no fictitious name, no Prince Hall, none of that. 32 and 33 degrees in meteorology, that's when water freezes. My tassel ain't pinned down. You got to understand what I'm telling you, man. I give credit to our prophet, but the science is deeper than this. All brothers have some science. Every brother has some science, but they perverted it when they tried to implement themselves. It all comes from one. Nothing is new. We had great men, Deuce Muhammad Ali, John Henry Clark. Hell, Dr. York was a brilliant brother. But then when you try to implement yourself and twist the science and try to be greater than the science, things like that happen. I'm just not down with no alien stuff. I know better than that because I'm a historian as well. And I know where the tablets come from. And when other individuals don't know where the tablets come from, it's easy for people can add their fallacy and make themselves look like this. I'm telling you, Dr. York was just like a Farrakhan. Farrakhan played music. Dr. York was all in the music. Had a whole music group, all that stuff. That's what I'll be telling people. I'm a historian. I understand where the wisdom comes from. I understand where it comes from. People be introduced to the science. They all was part of things. They all was part of different houses. You got to understand this. Yahweh being Yahweh was part of the Nation of Islam. Khalid Muhammad was part of the Nation of Islam. Those are different houses. I mean, that's what I tell people. We don't diss nothing. We evolve. So what I'm telling my brothers and sisters, that's what we got to get to. And then I can show you other documents who lied to us. The Nation of Islam had documents back in the day knowing that we were Moors. I show this a plethora of times. The Negro, a.k.a. the Blackamoor. I show this. But how did I tap the Akashic record? By listening and studying with the Dr. York following in Florida. You can tap into anything. I said, history is history. If your eyes is open, but if we tap into things and our life is in shambles, the science mean nothing to me. Because I can still get back to the common denominator. People say, well, I'm rich in spirit. Bullshit. Excuse my candor. The person that's ain't rich in spirit, they rich. So that means in the flesh, we're supposed to be able to be what? Operators and generators and progenitors of everything on earth. We should be able to manifest some things on earth. So when we operate, when we connect to things, I tell people, a lot of people are physically alive, but spiritually dead. Because what I do, I give people the keys, and you are your Akashic records. You attach to it. When I got all the Akashic records, the manuals, but isn't it good when you have it? Peace, Jew. You know, but then when we get things and people implement things, and I can show people inside the science where you be like, damn, you right, brother. I say, I know. It's no disrespect to no one. If people within the flesh, they say all this brother is doing is adding value to. And remember, a prophet and an angel is no good in his own country. How can I have done all this stuff? I'm from the city of Flint, and none of my friends gravitate to it. And then here it is. I done came out in a short couple of years. I got Europeans under my auspices. I travel. I do so much other stuff. I'm getting ready to do lectures at colleges. I lecture in Masonic houses. And all my brothers and sisters don't want to listen and be a part of something that's real. I don't be disrespecting my people, but I know a lot of our people have done some things that they don't know. When I tell all my friends, read Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. None of my friends will read. And I say, well, if you read, you will understand the history and what we need to come from under. A lot of stuff, we were subjugated. A lot of our brothers and sisters don't know who they are. They still call themselves Negro, colored, black, or African American still today. And they don't even teach their kids this stuff. This is what hurts my heart. And then we give all our science history to Europeans. Or the Bible is a white man book. Who told you that stupid stuff? That's what I've been saying. Hey, that's like when I be telling my brothers and sisters, Carlin, a dollar will help. $5 will help this ministry. What y'all just wait for me to get to a place? I said, dude, and we give our money to Uncle Sam. And people be asking me stuff over and over and knowing they can help our ministry. Knowing they can help, because I'm going to be if one of us pass right now and our wives got to bury us, who going to do the eulogy for my friends? You going to have Reverend Porkchop come do it? This is what I'll be saying. Like, we don't even have our affairs in order. We complain about the white man and they taking advantage of everything that I talk about. Everything that I discuss, the European is doing it. Everything. They operate under their tax exempt. They operate under their religious laws. They spiritual head is they spiritual head. The person that took the time and went and did it. And they donate. And they say, well, hell, man, this is the brother that's going to have the temple and school in our community. We don't have nothing. I don't care what nobody on here say. Everybody get their ass up and go to work. Your ass get fired tomorrow. Your ass in shambles. Your degree is meaningless. Why? Because we don't take the opportunity to become bosses. If you want to, Carlin, if you want to pay all your tax money to the BBT, you can. I'll sit down with you and show you. You can ask any tax provider. You can ask any tax lawyer. They could be like, yes. And then I'll show you how to operate the same way so we can do work together. This is what I'll be telling people. What I do, I'm not a gatekeeper. The law said we tax them for the federal government, religious, charitable, scientifically, or educational wise. If you make, I'll give you an analogy, Carlin. If any of my friends make $100 grand right now, them Negroes don't have no tax deduction. They got to write Uncle Sam a fat ass check at the end of the year while Uncle Sam taking a percentage that they agree to each month. This is a freaking fact. If they get on here and lie, I say because that's what's wrong with us black people. We don't understand finances. We don't talk about money, but we are out Muhammad. We are out Jesus. We are out Buddha. We don't know a goddamn thing about what I'm talking about. We playing while we giving our money to Uncle Sam, thinking your goofy ass finna get a tax return, Carlin. This is what my people do. And why the Europeans take advantage of this, all the religious people. That's why I say we stupid as hell. Or I got to pay my taxes. If you was donating to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice, which is your brother, all I got to do is give your ass a tax exempt receipt. You give it to your tax preparer. Done deal. That's why I be laughing at us. That's why all my donors and my supporters, all the people that I know making six figures that I mentor and be able to talk to, Brother Carlin, they're gonna be like, I hope your people understand once you get to where you need to, you ain't gonna have to deal with them because you've been saying this to them forever. I've been saying this to people forever. And people don't have to donate at all. I say just a small percentage. All I'll be asking for people for $100 a month. I get 300 people donate $100 a month. That's $360,000 a year. I'll buy a building in my city of Flint right now. Boom. And then that'll be coming in each year with all the other stuff I'm doing. We have infrastructure just like that. And everybody get a tax-exempt receipt. But $100 won't even put a dent in what nobody make, Carlin. I know, Carlin, what you say, Carlin. Ain't no church giving no tax-exempt receipt. I know, Carlin. That's why I be laughing at these. Carlin, big facts, brother. I'm glad I ain't get off, but I'm glad you on here because you be talking back. Ain't no church giving nobody no freaking tax-exempt receipt. I know that for a fact. Them goofy Negroes be paying taxes twice, brother Carlin. How you done donated 20,000, you and your wife, and then at the end of the year, you pay taxes again with your dumb ass. And the church is tax exempt for the federal government, religious and charitable and scientific. So that means we tax exempt receipt. So if everybody a part of my organization, when you go get a car, you paying no taxes. You want to have a basketball team, it's under our tax exempt status. That's how. But Negroes don't want to listen. We almost there, Carlin. That's why I be laughing at my brothers and sisters. That's why the powers that be laugh at basketball players and NBA players that make all that money. I got a tax preparer. Them Jews, no disrespect, them European Jews, all they be doing is paying your taxes, donate to their religious and charitable contribution of their choice, giving you a tax-exempt receipt, building their organizations. And all you be happy if I paid my taxes, yeah, but you ain't supporting nothing in your community. When your basketball day's over, ain't no buildings, ain't no temples, ain't no schools. And your brother like myself is educated, anointed, and consecrated. And people just work regular jobs. We're supposed to be having our own infrastructure to counsel our kids, to have our own basketball, to have after school activities, to train them to be scholars and elders. We don't have none of that. And when your job fire your ass, we don't have no infrastructure. This is what I be telling people that have license in counseling, gangs, drugs, and crime prevention. That's where the money at. People don't even understand it. People don't even understand what I be saying. I be having people with these credentials. They don't want to have a round table. I sit at the table with Europeans. I do this with Europeans. That's why I be laughing at all my friends and family. I said, man, y'all niggas just want to party and bullshit. I say, man, I can't deal with it because I'll be teaching this. They like, well, we can just donate to our religious and charitable contribution of the choice, get a tax-exempt receipt, and the money we'll give Uncle Sam. We can have infrastructure. We can buy this. We can buy these houses in our neighborhood and have a religious community. Yeah. I know friends that make 56, well, not 50, 100,000. They have no deductions. At the end of the year, they scrambling. Man, I owe Uncle Sam this. Yeah, because you have no deductions, smart guy. And don't get on here and act like you don't know what I'm talking about. That's why I be laughing at my brothers and sisters. I don't disrespect the churches because whatever they donate, they like it. They get a tax-exempt receipt if they supposed to, but I do because I'm part of the community. Because without you, it's no me. The church is the people, the gathering, and the people. We are tax exempt from the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, educational wise. People can donate to their religious contribution of their choice, and I'll give you a tax-exempt receipt, and you can give it to your tax preparer. Just imagine as I was getting the money like TD Jakes and all these people, or if people donate to me like people did to so-called Dr. Umar, and he was saying we were going to open a school. I already did. I already run a school online, already educated. People seeing me do this. I know how to deal with companies to get free tickets to take 100 kids to all sports events. I know how to get computers and shit donated to me. People see me graduate from 2 universities. Y'all know I know how to do this. That's why I'll be laughing, brother, and everything in our neighborhood, in my city of Flint, is just there, waiting for us. Ain't nobody finna save us. We can save us. How? The money that we giving Uncle Sam, we can donate a portion of that to the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, and everybody can hold me accountable and see, won't I do what I'm gonna say? We'll have our temple. We'll be in operation. I'll have brothers bringing that gas skills. We'll be mentoring our brothers. We'll be building houses for people getting out of prison, single moms. Buying back our neighborhood, the plight. We'll be working with Land Bank and all these places. Why? Doing something for the community. Crime, drug, gang prevention. That's a part of what we do. I'm telling y'all, man, and everybody know I'm telling the truth. What y'all think when you want to open a Boy Scouts? What you think? You have to deal with what? Certain nuns to open these certain things. We shouldn't have to do that. We should be able to go right with me. This is why I be telling our brothers and sisters and everybody that got a job can support me. That's why I be looking at all my friends with a side eye. I be like, y'all know I'm a divine minister, right? Y'all know I'm tax exempt for the federal government. Y'all know we can have our own infrastructure in our neighborhood and we can take it from state to state and have subordinate temples and schools and state to state. How we can do it with the money we giving Uncle Sam. This is simple. Where are our libraries? Where any libraries in a neighborhood? Tell me any neighborhood where brothers can go to and get the research. I bet you my library is bigger than any university. And there's people on my page went to college universities. I bet you your library ain't extensive as mine. I don't care what field you studying. I guarantee you. Because most Negroes that I know went to college, they don't even know who J.A. Rogers is. They don't know who Ira Van Sertima is. They don't know who Dr. Francis Quells Wilson is. They don't know who Sharice McIntyre is. They don't know who Dr. Ben is. They don't know who John Henry Clark is. They don't know who Ira Van Sertima is. So how they going to teach somebody something? These is facts, man, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. They don't even know the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment and manumissions. So I'm telling y'all, man, we can build something, y'all, and hold me accountable. I promise y'all, we can build something. Y'all know my information. Once again, Goodman, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. Yeah, we gave it all back. Look, research how much money Google spent to convert books to PDF. I got books from all centuries, all levels of wisdom, everything. That costs hundreds and thousands of dollars on Amazon. I can show y'all books about real estate and all that they got on Amazon for stacks. You'll be like, how you get this? From my connection. How you know about this? From my connection. How you know about all these different trust funds? It's about 16 different trusts. Why I tell people, get out of a will, because a will ain't nothing but litigation. But people don't want to hear about that. When I teach the truth, so help me God, I don't have no fake phony stuff to tell you. I never leave nobody in a burning house. I went and spent thousands and got in debt for this. And I'm anointed and consecrated as an official on all levels. And I'm telling my brothers and sisters, we can do this. I'm telling you, brother, we can do it the same way. The blueprint is here. We can do this. And nobody can stop us because the religious laws trump all this. And I have my own charter. This is what I'm telling brothers, all my friends, everything, just like all these other things going on, we tax exempt for the federal government. I can give you a tax exempt receipt. And then I have a full library. We got our kids that's athletes, don't even know who they are. Can easily get crushed by somebody telling them that they this and they that, or they some monkey, and they can have wisdom. Black history finna come. What our baby's gonna know? I got so much wisdom that can clear everything up, brothers and sisters. So I'm just casting out my net, because when it's war, it's time to build. And this is a good time for us to come together, y'all. This is a good time to say, to at least try something, because none of us on here was hustled by none of these other characters. I'm telling you right now, out of the sound of my voice, I'm not just asking nobody for nothing, but I'm a contributor of everything. I'm a contributor of what I'm doing. And I'm telling you, y'all, in my city of Flint, Michigan, where I'm from, I can show y'all it's over 50 churches that's available. Right now, I'm using my pennies, me and my other mufti. His name is Chavez. Our money, I got the whole land bank list. And we buying houses for a couple thousand, fixing them ourselves. This ain't no game that I'm doing. This ain't no fake stuff. I know how to do things. But I'm telling y'all, we can do things and put money together. And if we under our religious auspices, we're tax exempt for the federal government. We tax exempt for the federal government. And y'all can see me by the temple, an old church. And well, not an old church, but a church that's not occupied. Because in the city of Flint, it's only about like 70,000 people now. We can have our own infrastructure. We can have our own counseling house. So when young brothers and sisters go into prison and to the Pasadena Playhouse, we can go and get them brothers. Just like in the city of Flint, they got these institutions called the Whaley Youth Center. All these bullshit facilities where they just doping these kids up. All these facilities where a lot of these different nationalities got our babies. They don't know the culture. They just doping them up, getting them government grants. We can do this. Why people working, and then you branch off to do your own thing. That's what I'll be telling people. That's why I like Damon Dash. Why? Because Damon Dash said, you don't want to have your own thing where nobody can fire you. Where how far can you get in your success? How many degrees you gonna want? How many times you gonna go to work begging somebody like, oh, I should get more? No, your ass only gonna get what you're supposed to get. Now it's time for your goofy ass to get out on your own. And Negroes be afraid, but they be Gucci down, Carlin. Negroes be buying cars every year, going on stupid ass trips, but then be going to work all mad and agitated, leaving job. I said, damn it, how much more you think you finna make? So you can be bought for a couple dollars. So you ain't gonna use your brain and your understanding to sit your goofy ass down and try to be your own boss. This is what I'll be telling people. You ain't gonna sit down and be like, wait a minute, I'm working for these people, they getting contract. I need to figure this shit out. Because how much more money I'm gonna get? You ain't finna be the CEO or nobody else shit. We be having infrastructure. The religious laws trump everything. We be letting other people diagnose us, Brother Carlin. I'm telling you. And they don't understand that the religious laws trump everything. In the community, the religious laws trump everything. We private, we have our own, and that's how we take over while we working. And then that's how we figure out to get grants and all this stuff. How? Because the religious laws trump everything. When you see people get in trouble, who is your spiritual head? Who's the people that's with you, that can judge you on your behalf? Negroes don't have nothing. Negroes don't have nothing. Well, I don't know. And that's what I'll be telling us. We don't have nothing. And all we doing is giving our money and our time away. Yeah, Carlin. These is facts. I don't talk about nothing but facts. I talk about nothing but all facts. And all my friends and family know it. We giving our money away. We giving our money away to Uncle Sam willingly. And they laugh and they like, you Negroes ain't gonna never do nothing. Why? Because here it is, your brother that's taxes in for the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, and educational wise. And all y'all make money and y'all giving it to Uncle Sam. I don't care if you make $40,000. If you have no deductions, you owe. When some people that work regular, watch this and I'm out of here because I've been going for a minute. A regular person, they say, well, I'm gonna file exempt for 6 months. Okay, well, then what? If you're part of your religious and charitable contribution of your choice, you can file exempt all the time. If you do your paperwork on your own, they say either you're gonna do it or we'll do it for you. That's why about paying your taxes, your tax preparer is not obligated to fulfill that. You are. And if you're part of your religious and charitable contribution of your choice, you can do it yourself. You can do it yourself. I don't have to get I ain't got no loans. Now, grants, you can get those. You don't have to pay it back when I show people how to get grants with a grant writer. But we can do this, y'all, without none of that. How? With the money we giving Uncle Sam. I don't care how much you make. With the money that you make it with Uncle Sam. And right now, if you're working $100 a month, it ain't going to hurt your pocket. And I'll give you a taxes and receipt. And that ain't going to do you no good because that's only $1,200. Just imagine if you got deductions and you say, okay, well, I'm filing exempt, and you get 10% of your income because you like what's going on, and you working in the church, and we doing all this, and we got everything going on in-house. You won't mind. You won't mind. And you doing your taxes yourself, and you giving to your tax preparer, and everything match what you're saying because I'm giving you a taxes and receipt. This is what I know. But we giving all our money away to Uncle Sam, and it's sitting in a private banking system, and I'm a private banking system. This is what I try to tell my brothers and all my friends, but it fall on deaf ears. When we get older, we ain't gonna have nothing. We ain't gonna have our own counselor house. What people are gonna say? Oh, I used to be a counselor. Yep. $100 a month, $1,200, and that's just starting off. That ain't even gonna hurt nobody's pocket. Out of 300 people, that's $360,000 a year. That's why I tell people, when you make a certain amount of money, most people don't have no deductions. You owe Uncle Sam. If you make 100 grand and you don't have no deductions, you owe Uncle Sam. I don't care if they taking something out your check each week, whatever. At the end of the year, Uncle Sam's going to bust your head. Why don't you donate to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice so you can build infrastructure, so you can have your libraries? Because the only thing we own is our religious structure, our temples and our schools that nobody can touch. We got to understand this. I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me, but I need all my family and friends support. Y'all know how to get in contact with me. I'll show y'all my blueprints. I don't have no fake degrees. I can show people how to buy property, all that, and put things in the right perspective. I can show people how to get land and buy your own homesteads because we did it. I got my own land, me and my muftis. We own 10 acres, and I can show you how to do this stuff. It's a way to do things, and I'm a source of information. And once we build our community, man, and do it the right way, we can do some magnanimous things, family. I promise y'all. I love everybody. Hit me up. Goodman, Goodman, khary@gmail.com. I'm telling y'all, it's late right now. Y'all can text me. Please, no calls right now because it's late. My office number is 602-473-8767. My office number is 602-473-8767. So I'll respond more to text messages and emails because I get so many messages every day. You know? But please, brothers and sisters, I have a full library. Get everything from me. Don't go to Amazon. Anything you're thinking about or anything, and if you see anything on my pages and any lectures that I talk about, hit me up. And I want everybody to come to class. And I'm telling y'all, watch what's getting ready to happen real soon. My solar return is January 19th. A lot of stuff I don't talk about, but when I was in college, a group of professors wanted to buy my book that I gathered and compiled, Divine Creed of Moorish Islam. So I got some donations to do something. And I'm telling y'all, the money that I make off doing what I'm doing, I'm going to use every penny to buy our temple in my city of Flint, Michigan. And then when the next wave come in and donations that I get from this other source, in Allah's will, we're going to have our second brick and mortar in St. Louis with my Mufti Dantes Smith L. And I'm going to show people what we can do because I'm not turning my colleagues down. I'm dealing with European professors. When I lecture on the college campus, they're like, well, and I'm an alumni from GCU, and they want to see me do this. I'm not no jackleg just in the streets. I'm alumni from GCU, and I'm alumni for Clear University. So I'm talking to these professors. They're like, well, do they know what you're doing? And do your people know what you're doing? They're like, you can just give us a tax and receipt. So they are allowing me to come on a college campus and talk to the people and talk to the students because this is big for the university. You just imagine in the next year or two, things happen. Where I'm going to be on a college campus, they're going to have me all in the paper as a write-up. I'm an alumni from GCU. This is what I'm telling people. And the story is they're going to be like, well, what you did, I'm going to tell my story, man. I did this with my people. I didn't have to take no grants. I didn't have to be under the FBI, which is the faith-based initiative. I'm not have to be under that. I can say we did it with the people and we can continue to do it. So with that being said, man, I love y'all. Support your brother, man. I need y'all help. Peace.